The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
We in the horror community have been shunned for many decades regarding the legitimacy of our beloved genre by many major film award organizations. The biggest one, the Oscars, is the most notable culprit, and while they've been getting slightly better over the past 40 years, when horror is being recognized, they play it off as a drama or a thriller. Their sense of rationalization is off the charts. It needs to be said that 2024 is one of the best years for horror in a long, long time. This coming Oscar ceremony in 2025 could possibly be one for the books. The short list is out in some categories like visual effects, sound, score, makeup, and hairstyling for Alien Romulus, Nosferatu, and The Substance have made it in. Beetlejuice is also on the short list as well. Could 2025 be the year that they sweep the Oscars? Some very strong contenders here, and it would be cool to see some horror takes home some gold statues. And welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Welcome to episode 647 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast and is recorded in front of an undead studio audience here at Castle Wolfenstein. Also, the Lair of Lost Swag within the Raven Chateau and Casa de -0. And also from a fourth location, coming straight from the DR, the home of the Mama Juana. We are joined by one of the founders and originators of the Kobayashi Maru and one of our oldest friends and Patreon supporter. We're joined by our boy, Double fucking D. What's up, D?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Here at Double D's Dilapidated Dungeon, as always. We're good to go. Chilling here.
I gotta write that one down for next time. Dilapidated Dungeon. I like it. So,
you know my lack of alliteration and all that bullshit.
Yeah, man. Love it.
Right.
Love it. So we are joined by Double D, and it is his Patreon takeover. We're doing a Patreon takeover of, I guess this is sort of like a Patreon takeover inspired or an edition of the December double feature Cram Jam. And D has picked two, not quite two films. I guess technically one of them could be considered a film because of the length, but we're doing one film and a streaming series. And those are the Salem's Lot film from 2024 and also a streaming series called The Edge of Sleep, which is on Amazon Prime and is adapted from a podcast of the same name. So, so we're going to be talking about those. We haven't done, I think we've only done one streaming series before, and it was just a single episode. That was for, what was it called? 50 coin, 10 coin? Holy shit, what was it called?
Yeah, 10 pennies.
10 pence.
10 pesos? It was 10 pesos?
It was 25 pesos.
Wasn't Attack
30.
on Titan? Wasn't that a?
No, it was a film.
That was a film.
Yeah, it was actually 30 coins, not 10 or 50. It was
30
30 coins. Yeah, we did one episode of 30 coins. And but yeah, so this one actually worked out pretty good. It's six episodes, all roughly about 20 minutes. So worked out to be basically a feature film. So yeah, we're going to talk about those. Looking forward to the discussion, but until that happens, I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of bullshit happening. So,
Of course.
because that's what we do best.
That's why I dialed in, baby. That's why I dialed in.
Yeah,
We're
boy.
good.
Yeah, boy.
We're prime for bullshit.
Well, why don't we get to the hot button topic that MZ's been dying to talk about? And that would be the drop of a new trailer today. Did everyone see the Superman trailer, James Gunn's Superman?
About 103 times I've seen it, yeah.
Only 103, D? What's going on with you? What's wrong?
You're lightening up, dude.
Yeah. You saw Rave Shadow?
Oh, dog, dude, I saw it like at least fucking 8 times by 11 a.m., dude.
8? Well, D saw it 103, so
Yeah.
I mean,
But time is different in the Dominican Republic, okay?
The exchange rate is different.
I'm in the future right now. That's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's the exchange rate there?
That's why you still look so young.
and MZ there, you're not ingratiating me. You know what you said, man. You know what you said about the trailer.
You know what you did. You know what you did.
There with a guy there. And he said, I don't know why you have to, cut down childhood dreams, and things like that. I don't understand. I don't understand
What childhood dreams?
of Superman, man.
What happened to the childhood dream when Christopher Reeve was Superman? When Richard Donner directed it?
Well, of course, it has a special place in my heart. It absolutely does. It has a special place in my heart. But you telling me you didn't feel inspired by this trailer? You didn't feel inspired?
He only feels inspired by like I don't know, like
Drinking poison.
yeah,
Child death.
yeah, or watching a Serbian film once again.
Yeah.
A lot of buggery.
No, I know MZ isn't down with the whole superhero thing. I get it. Yeah, but come on, man. You must have liked it a little bit. Maybe just a little bit.
Let me just cut to it right now. Okay.
Please.
Let him speak on this.
Yeah. Let me hit this one time.
I did that last night. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, boy.
I'm sorry. Go on, MC. Go on.
I don't know what the purpose of this film is. I really don't.
What's the purpose of any film? Really?
Well,
Entertainment, right?
I mean, look, in the grand scheme of everything, yeah. But I mean, yeah, you could say that about any film. But what is the purpose of this film when it's just going to be rehashed and remade in about 5 years, 6 years? And I mean, we've had multiple stories on the origins of Superman.
It's not an origin.
Origin? Nope.
Yeah, this one's not an origin.
Regardless, we still have had that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, like Batman, how many stories on Batman, origin stories on Batman do we need?
Maybe
I mean,
34 more.
And adding crypto, which
Outstanding. Yeah, go on.
This is the Shaggy Doo moment of Scooby Doo.
Shaggy
Okay?
Doo.
This is the Shaggy Doo moment of.
Okay. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You're eager to say.
No, I was
say
actually
something. Go right ahead.
I was actually going to say I want to hear from Raven Shadow. He's raising his hand, so because he.
All right, Raven Shadow, go ahead.
So MZ's never read a Superman comic, right? Just.
No, I have.
Oh, you have? Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Okay. And I think you do like at least the first 2 Donner pictures, right? At least for what they were.
Oh, sure.
At the time.
They're great. They're great.
Great.
So, and it's okay, MZ. It's totally okay. That's not your thing. I'm not gonna bust your balls on it, surely. But by your same point, how many fucking Dracula movies do we need? How many Nosferatu movies do we need? How many Freddy? How many Jason movies do we need? Right? Like,
I agree.
You know what I mean?
It's milking the cow dry. That's exactly what it is, or milking the well dry, whatever it is.
Milking the well?
Dry.
Milking something dry. I mean, you make it
Milking the well dry.
Whatever. Yeah.
It's milking the bologna gumdrops dry.
Yeah. Fuck you.
But characters who are legend, like the Man of Steel or superhero archetypes, along with horror archetypes, like Dracula, Frankenstein, are archetypes that these stories will live way past all of us, and longer than some of us, depending who you have in the death pool. Wolfie?
I was just going to say we also have Nosferatu's coming out next week, MZ.
Mhm.
Are you looking
Right.
forward to
Well,
that?
it's a remake. It's
Yeah.
a remake.
Are you
and,
looking forward
come
to
on,
it?
it's the second remake of Nosferatu in
Yeah, but
102 years.
yeah, but
Come
no,
on.
it's not.
Yeah, it
That
is.
story has been. It's fucking Dracula. It's Dracula. That story's been told hundreds, if not thousands,
It's
of
Dracula,
times.
but it's Nosferatu. It goes by Nosferatu. It's a
It's
completely.
It's a bald Dracula, Wolfie.
Bald.
But the thing here is that you could say that, but the horror genre and like the intro that I just mentioned is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. It's not taken seriously. It's always put in the back burner. It's always frowned upon. So when you have multiple actors playing Frankenstein or Dracula or the Wolfman or whatever, or any horror figures that we have today, like Jason Voorhees or Ghostface or whoever, it doesn't matter because it kind of plays to a lower denominator. These films here, with their overblown budgets, okay, I don't know what the budget is on this film, but I can guarantee you
It's enormous. Yeah, it's going to be enormous.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. It's got to be about 150 million, if not, or maybe 200 million. Who knows? They put themselves on a higher plateau, and because of that, they're looked at as being more important. It just doesn't seem right to me. You know, it just.
But buddy, I think you're they're the same. They're very two sides of a similar coin. Like, again, I'm not busting your balls for not liking it. You totally don't have to. That's totally cool, man.
Thank you.
I truly thought you would get a chuckle at Gunn's Suicide Squad. I truly did. And
He
after
hated it.
yeah, and I will never try to push that genre your way again. I'm not being a dick about it, but I really thought that you would appreciate that. But I think horror, comics, heavy metal, it's a community that very much is intertwined, that also gets the same level of looked down upon. There's never been my understanding. God.
But they're spreading apart now because while yes, horror is making money,
like Rufus and Ronaldo.
Yeah,
on a hot day.
It's relying on a lower budget, even though they make money. These distributor companies don't want to really shell out the cash for it. Meanwhile, on the opposite end of the spectrum, you got these superhero movies, fucking Iron Man, fucking Wasp Man, fucking
Wasp Man?
and Ant-Man, asshole.
Wasp Man?
Ant-Man, fucking Rifleman. You got all these guys.
That's fucking Connors.
Okay,
That's
whatever.
Chuck Connors, sir.
All right, well, whatever the fuck.
Okay, well then, can I allow me to interject and cut you off? Michael Bay, Transformers.
I agree. Those are overblown.
But you see every fucking one of them.
No, I haven't actually.
Are you sure?
Quite sure. The only one I have not seen is The Last Night, and that came out 8 years ago. Okay.
So you saw the first 13. Okay, good.
There's no 13.
I mean,
and I haven't seen was it Beast Wars? I have not seen that one.
Well, that's stupid.
Attack of the Beast or whatever the hell it's called.
Do you believe that there's no good stories left to tell about Superman? Do you believe that the character should just, like, I don't know, die in cinema, or just be nothing else to be told about that character?
Well, it's kind of weird how the people that they get to play Superman, no matter who it is, is now, as far as I can tell, I've never heard of this guy Corin Sweat before. I don't know who he is.
I don't think it's Corin Sweat.
I don't know, but
Yeah,
his Corin Sweat's all over the place.
I think it's David Corin Sweat. Yeah, I think that's his name.
Yeah. Well, don't trust anybody with the word sweat in their name, okay?
Was it Keith Sweat?
Yeah, yeah.
He's a good brother.
Yeah.
Friend of the show.
Keith Sweat, yeah. I mean, and he looks like Tony Khan. Okay,
Listen,
so,
Jesus.
stop.
Was he do cocaine now too?
Yeah.
what
That's
do you
pretty
think?
low,
Look at
MC.
him.
That was pretty low, MC.
Little fucked up.
That's not low. It's true. Double D, you know I'm telling you the truth.
No.
He looks
He's
like
correct.
He looks like Tony Khan.
Just because he's got curly, dark brown hair?
And the fact that meshed up with his face, he looks like Tony Khan. Yeah, he kind of does.
Listen. I'm about to be 48 years old in a matter of days.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Surprised I made it this far, to be fair.
We all are, actually.
And you should really praise me, actually. I'm actually upset that you're not.
Praise.
Not there yet. But listen, I had my eyes were raining a little bit when fucking trailer opens. Fucking clock's all fucked up, crashes in the fucking Arctic. He's all fucking bloody. And what's he doing with his mouth? Oh shit. Is he whistling? Oh, he's whistling.
Yeah.
Who's coming?
Yeah.
It's his fucking dog. What a good fucking boy.
Yeah. Right on.
First time live action cinematic crypto.
First time crypto. FTK.
First time crypto.
Actually, a first-time cryptocurrency. Because this movie's gonna tank.
No,
Really?
You're totally wrong about that.
Probably.
Yeah, it's not going to tank. No.
No, it's not gonna tank. It's gonna rake in millions of dollars.
This movie's gonna make more money than Juan Soto's contract. Call back.
It probably is, actually. I think with this is essentially, I know it's not kicking off the new sort of gun DC universe.
It is.
Well, what I mean is, like, we had Creature Commandos and and there's some other stuff like TV stuff, but what I mean is it's the first film that's going to be kicking it off. And whenever there's like a sort of a reboot or a new thing, people are always willing to give it a chance. So I think that it will be,
except MC apparently.
Yeah. I think it'll be big, and I think that this is what people have been wanting. It's a hopeful, it's a hopeful Superman, and it's not Zack Snyder, thankfully, because I think everyone's had their fill of that for now.
Yeah, and Henry Cavill is a fucking superior looking human being. He's fucking amazing, and it just sucks that he didn't have something awesome to work with. But
yeah,
Henry Cavill's
Brandon Routh. I mean,
once again, not Brandon Routh's fault either.
It wasn't. No.
But Henry Cavill's not walking in the door, gang. Brandon Routh's not walking in the door.
Where do they get all these people that can't play the role? The only one that can play the role is fucking Christopher Reeve, and we all know this.
Well, I think Henry Cavill was good in the role.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Yeah,
And
Brandon Routh was a good Clark, and he looked the part of Superman. But I think that there is, I don't know, something missing from Superman. I think he looked the part, but I think there's maybe something a little missing.
I agree with that.
I think it came down to the direction. I think it was hard when Returns, and I saw Returns back to back. I saw that on a Friday night, and we saw it again that next Saturday. And that was the era. Also, too, Smallville was. I know, fucking. I'm not trying to fucking go there, but Smallville was going.
You always go there.
Always hold on to Smallville.
Right here, Smallville, a special place in my heart. yeah.
Thank you, D.
What?
Brother.
What? I don't understand. Why then they just go to like Largeville? Why stay in Smallville?
Largeville. That's my spinoff.
That should be your fucking. That should be your town, Raven Channel, Largeville.
The Tom Welling didn't make a good Superman and MC. I mean, come on now. Tom Welling, even though it was a series and stuff, he was awesome. I mean, and
MC has no idea who Tom Welling is.
Yeah, he's like, who?
I have no idea who that is, but I know who Nick Cage is, and Nick Cage would have been an amazing Superman.
How about Nick Cave as Superman? That'd be awesome.
But I mean, how many stories do we need of this guy?
Do you
know,
do you
we
know how
already
many
know-
comic book
You know what it all
you know how many
you know what
comic
it
book
all comes
issues there
down
are?
to? It all comes down to special effects and how they're going to look and what it's going to look like, where Soups is going to be taking on this character or Soups is going to be taking on that character, and how those action sequences
So
are going to play out. I
Can
mean,
I-
it's by the numbers filmmaking, and it's always with some glowing thing. There's always a big
Some
glowing
glowing
object. No, I'm telling you the truth. What you've seen them all, right? How many have their powers ruled, given or taken away
By kryptonite?
by some glowing object? Just about every single one of them.
You
Okay?
talking about Superman or superhero films?
and I get it.
Superhero films in general.
A glowing thing, Clark
Glowing
Bruce
things.
boy.
Yes.
But how many slashers are going to kill somebody with a knife? I'll wait.
I'll wait.
Yes, that's true.
But
But it's a
here's-
lower common denominator. Those kind of films placate to the lowest common denominator. These films, in fact,
He
are
just
getting
called
like-
himself the lowest common denominator.
No, because it's true.
I am the lowest common denominator. Fuck you, Wolfie.
No, because it's true. I love trash films. Okay.
You know.
I'll accept trash films over accepting a $250 million overblown piece of shit.
And MZ, you are not going to understand some of these references. And I'm not saying you're not going to understand it. You're not going to have the same emotional impact about what I'm going to say. But I think when you have spectacle, whether it's capes and tights, whether it's a big budget, Dracula knockoff, or whether it's Will Smith fucking blowing up aliens, you are going
You
to
had
remember.
to use Will Smith with him, didn't you?
right. I'm sorry. Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park. I'm sorry. Regardless of, I think what people are going to remember is the dialogue and the character moments more than the world saving. At this point, I remember lines like at the end of Superman 2 when he fucking shows up and tunes that dude up and he's like, "Oh, I've been working out," or "You got me, who's got you?"
Right.
More than him turning back time. And in this trailer, what really, really moved me was my man's fucked up and he calls his dog and his dog takes him home.
Right.
Or there's one scene in the trailer of all kinds of chaos going on and a little boy is holding up the fucking S shield. You know what I mean? Like that trailer has given me hope for the first time since November 6th.
It's given you hope since the last Superman trailer. Okay.
But and
don't
anything else.
bullshit me. Don't bullshit me. It's given you hope since the last trailer, and that trailer gave you hope since the trailer before that. So there's a good chance that this is going to suck serious ass.
Unlikely, but sure.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there is a
I'm not
chance.
saying
Yeah.
it's not going to rake in millions of dollars.
Sure.
It is.
Right. But I think any big budget picture can be forgettable. Absolutely. If it's all just throwing in CGI to make it great. But what I'm trying to throw in there is the human moments. And that's, I think, what people are being galvanized by this. Again, it's totally cool. It's not your thing. Totally get it. But even like taking it back to some of the recent movies we've watched where the horror movies who aren't cookie cutter jock, big titty girl number 1, or fucked up kid in a wheelchair getting pushed downstairs number 2. When you care about the characters, the deaths have more weight.
I agree. I
You
agree.
know, so whether it's a galaxy far, far away, whether it's Camp
Bad
Crystal
example
Lake,
for him too.
right, or you know, the big apricot, like Metropolis is called. I think it's the human interactions that galvanize the story and make these characters truly legend.
So you're watching it, MC. I don't care what it is.
He's going to pick it on the show next time he's on.
No,
Oh,
I
shit.
won't be seeing this.
You're watching it, right?
You're gonna fucking
And
see
let me
it.
ask you this: Why does Lex Luthor always have to look younger and younger? And it can't be because I'm getting older. You know?
No, it is.
This is
No.
this is
because,
I think
all these Lex Luthors are starting to look like kids.
I think
He's 31, dude.
I think Nicholas Holt is maybe one of the best looking ones. He looked awesome. He looked like fucking comic book Lex Luthor in like a lot of the comics. Whereas like Jesse Eisenberg, he was the last one, right?
Yeah.
In the Snyderverse, like I just couldn't get behind. I thought the character was fine, but it just wasn't a good portrayal. It just wasn't. It wasn't it.
Right.
You know.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I mean, they all
Lex
look like
isn't a
kids
tech
now. I mean, Gene Hackman, at least, he had,
Yeah,
the
but who
age
says-
line. He looked like
Why can't Lex Luthor look like a kid or younger?
He's 31 years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
I
In
was
the
already
comic-
married
Hackman
at
in
31.
how old was Gene Hackman in 1978?
But this is
Probably
not based.
25.
He was the same age as Wilford Brimley, 38.
He
No, I don't
probably
know.
was.
It was 1977, 25, dog.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet he was probably in his early 40s at this point.
Hackman?
Hackman.
No, I think he was
1970.
younger. I think he was younger than that.
I think he was in his early 40s by this
because it was
point.
78.
Yeah.
78. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, because he's still alive, I thought for some reason he wasn't. I didn't know he was 94 fucking years old. But yeah, he was born in 1930, so it was 48. 48, yeah, depending on when they filmed it.
Yeah, he's a full 17 years older than the
Yeah, but
the guy playing him now.
right. But they're
But
not
he's
doing
31 years old.
they're not doing a remake of that. They're portraying the character of Lex Luthor, who is, like Raven Shadow said, 31 years old.
And how old was Jesse Eisenberg when he played him?
I don't know.
58. It's weird.
Let's ask him. Let's get him on the phone here.
Yeah, let's call
Let me
him up.
text him.
Nicholas Holt is probably older than 31. He's been around.
Holt is 31. He actually is 31 in real life. Like that kid is
Oh, okay.
31.
So he's the exact same age as Lex Luthor.
Right.
Is that what you're saying, Raven Shadow?
No. When I was doing the 31 thing, I was
Okay.
saying that's the actor's age is 31
Right.
Oh, he's 35. Nicholas Holt's 35.
or 35.
He's born in
Uh,
89.
So even older.
Apparently, the internet was wrong.
So even older. He's even older. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's even older. Yeah. So there you
And
go.
Nicholas Holt's also in Nosferatu. Look at that.
Call back.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, then there you go. Then.
So we're
But,
watching.
I mean, yeah. I
Watching
mean,
it.
you got Tony Sweat going up in the air with his fucking fro flying around all over the place, and I mean, even the cowlick isn't right. Even the cowlick isn't right. He's got like
MZ
Weird
is
Al-
all
he's
of a
got
sudden a
Weird Al
fucking
Yankovic thing
Superman
going on.
historian.
I love how nobody fucking likes Superman, but everyone's got a fucking opinion on the
I
Man
know.
of Steel.
MZ is a fucking Superman historian. The curl is not just right,
Right.
and Lex Luthor is too young. He cannot
I want my
portray.
Luthor to be subscribed to AARP.
But
Like I do.
ultimately, it all just comes down to special effects and what this is going to look like. The action sequences are going to have to be good
They
because
filmed.
I mean, this movie is going to make money no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay,
The-
but that doesn't
Wait,
make it
trailer?
good.
they
I
filmed.
agree with-
Yeah, go ahead, Double D. Go ahead.
No. What MC said there, just because it's big budget, it will make money. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to automatically be good. I believe this one will be good. Like even like when the last Superman iteration came out with Henry Cavill, when I wasn't really to be honest, that psyched up to see it when I first saw the trailer for it and stuff. I knew I was going to see it. But I was like, yeah, sure. You know what I mean? So this one, I feel like I need to see it because it does that spark of that childhood wonder that I felt for the original Superman with Christopher Reeves and stuff. You know what I mean? So it does take me back to that time. So I think I think it'll probably be the better Superman iteration that we've seen since the Christopher Reeves one. We'll see. Yeah.
I would agree. I can't recall the last time I watched a trailer this many times or literally had that emotional. And I was talking to to D and Rock in our chat. I talked to Slagoth today. A bunch of other people who are all, sharing the vibe. You know what I mean? And again, George Lucas said this many years ago, and I think he forgot it. But he had the line where he said, "A special effect without a story is a very boring thing." And we've seen adaptations come and go that were terrible. Craven the Hunter.
Did you see it?
I don't have to.
How do you know it's terrible then?
Because I saw it on the internet. No. But
Steve,
just because something
our
is
boy,
one thing-
our boy,
Thank you.
holy shit.
Linus?
No, Steven
Van Samson.
Scarlatta. Steven Scarlatta. He said it reminded him of like an older 80s and 90s comic book movie, and he said he loved it.
Yeah.
Right on.
So there you go. I trust Steven Scarlatta.
Yeah, he just made fucking Jodorowsky's Dune.
Yeah, no big
Right.
deal.
No big deal. friend of the show, Steven Scarlatta.
Well,
Cold
he didn't
Open
just
Young
make
Maniacs.
it.
I do also agree with something else that MC said about there's no need to do another origin story. I think we've grown to
Agreed.
tired of origin stories. I do agree with you on that. You know what I mean? So yeah. So
100%.
actually, I was talking to Raven Shot about that just last week. I really don't want to see another origin story of whatever, either Batman or whatever and stuff. And just we'll catch up. It's fine. You know what I mean? We'll catch up on it. So I do agree with that. I think it's been pretty saturated. The
But
origins.
again, I get it. It's like James Bond or any other archetype, but
Right.
I
Right.
think there can always be a fresh take on it, and I think to just completely dismiss it. Again, I'm probably the least horror guy on the show in all its incarnations.
Mhm.
I can't quantify when I like horror. I just do. But like, if there was something new with let me guess, Friday the 13th. I guess he'll be in a campground, right?
Or
Could
in
be
space. Yeah.
Could be in space.
I mean, say what you want. That's a
Right.
fucking bold move. I want to put him in Iraq. See what happens.
Now you're talking.
Put fucking Jason in Ukraine. We'll fucking imagine that. What's up, Putin? We got fucking Jason, dog.
Let me quickly try to catch up on the chat room here. Our pal Supercon says, "Season's greetings, gentlemen. Don't forget to stay tuned for Rampage." And he said, "I listened to the score for it multiple times today. They're doing their build up to it just like Top Gun Maverick."
Dude,
Yeah.
the fucking guitar fucking
Yeah.
Yeah.
version
the-
of the fucking Williams
That was
score.
right on. That was right
Yeah.
on. That was right on.
He says MZ drops a legendary comment on a Phoebe Cates photo yesterday, and today pivots to hating on dogs with superpowers.
Thank you, dude.
Thank you, dude. That's like the thing he's most
he knows
proud of.
greatness when he hears it, okay? Or in this case, when he reads it.
What is the legendary comment? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, I know it.
It had to have been from Fast Times, right?
No, it had nothing to do with Fast
Oh,
Times.
okay.
It was Phoebe.
Can
Okay,
you
yeah,
say it on air?
it was Phoebe Cates.
Can you say it?
Yeah. It was Phoebe Cates, and it was a still shot of the shot at the end of the.
Sorry, just getting it ready.
And it's the final shot of in the film Private School from 1983.
Oh, with a young Full Metal Jacket.
Matthew
Vincent
Modine.
D'Onofrio.
Oh, D'Onofrio.
No. Joker.
Modine.
Matthew Modine. Yeah.
Modine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the final shot. I mean, it's a different angle, but the very final shot of this of that film, and it freezes frame before the credits scroll, is like 7 or 8 college girls just baring their asses for the camera, and you know what I'm talking about, Raven Shadow.
I do, but I don't know where you're going. But okay, sure.
No, he doesn't know where
Anyway,
he's going.
it's a different angle of Phoebe Cates doing that
Well,
scene.
the fucking Zapruder film, like back to the left.
and everyone of course is commenting about how great her ass looks and everything like that, and all I say and I and I say, wait, let me. I want to say that, word for word. Hold on, I want to get.
Oh, good.
Oh, great. Yeah. You don't want to misquote
Get the sentence
yourself.
ready,
Leave
Wolfie,
anything
please.
out.
Don't misquote
Leave
yourself.
anything out.
Yeah.
Uh,
I want to really express the filth that I wrote.
let's see. Tony Khan. Thanks, guys.
Jesus Christ. All right. While he looks for that, let me read the
All right, I
next.
found it.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, it's the shot, and then I say, hard to believe shit falls out of that thing.
Oh my God.
Jesus
I
Christ.
see. I see.
Wow.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy
Hey.
holidays.
Merry Christmas. Maybe the show will go away after this episode.
Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, happy whatever the fuck.
Oh God.
Can you say that line again, please?
No, please don't. Please don't. Let me continue.
Thanks, guys.
Let me continue on with the chat.
Empty Lord Byron.
Lord Byron. Fucking Walt Whitman called.
Our boy, our pal Supercon continues on. He says, "I can't wait for my son to have his first superhero movie in a theater be this. While it may not be Oscar worthy, it will bridge another generation with the same character my father and myself loved as a child. This is why they keep making these films, and with the national tenor right now, the film may give hope to people to be better. That's why they make these films, and money for sure."
Right on.
Yeah. And then he posts.
Well, it may not win any acting awards. I mean, it will be up for contention for
like effects,
special effects, of course.
Maybe audio,
maybe even score or
editing,
audio. Yeah, or editing. It very well could. Acting, no chance. I don't see that happening at all.
Right.
And our pal Supercon also posted a picture of Dr. Roxo from Metalocalypse, and above it says Tony Khan on July 11th. That's the date of their big all-in show in Texas. Actually, it's at the Texas Rangers Stadium, MZ. That's where they're hosting the AEW show. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Evil Corny popped in. He says, "Bless MZ's heart. Hey guys, hey Double D."
So corny.
Supercon also says the S flag. I also thought as a powerful statement. We can't believe in our own flag, and that symbol has been, by definition, a symbol of hope.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And Corny says, "Tell MZ to calm down. This is our Transformers." And he also adds, "I can't recall the last time James Gunn let me down on one of his films."
There you go.
And Evil Corny post.
Trauma.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. He should. I wonder if Lloyd's going to be in this because it takes place in, well, I mean,
Tromaville.
Yeah, I was going to say it's technically not New York City, but.
Now that would be a hell of a crossover.
Welcome to Tromaville.
Agreed.
He's on top of the Daily Planet or something on the globe. Yeah. And Evil Corny posted a GIF that says "apologize," and that's to MZ.
Yeah.
He wants MZ to apologize.
Yeah, apologize.
Oh, like the old South Park apologize.
No, I don't know where the
Apologize
GIF's
to
from.
me.
Apologize. You guys know what
All
I'm talking about, right? Apologize.
D, did you say? I know we had like there's a lot of conversation go around. Did you give all your thoughts on the Superman trailer? I wanted to make sure you got them all out before we move on.
No, yeah. I mean, like it's something that with this saturation of superhero movies that have come out through the past 10 years, let's say. You know what I mean? So I think that, and to be honest, there have been several superhero movies that I just haven't watched. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same.
At all. You know what I mean? So just to be honest with you, you know what I mean? So this one is the one in a while that I absolutely will make it a point to see on opening day and stuff. You know what I mean? So that because it was that inspiring. You know what I mean? So and actually, funny enough, I was having this conversation with Ray Machado last week about how I kind of stopped reading the comic of Superman because it hasn't been really good for like the past like decade or so. You know what I mean? So this actually piqued my interest to like
Right.
you want to read that stuff again. You know what I mean? So or to pick up on this stuff. It's just it's an iconic character. It's been around since 1938. I think there's plenty of stories to tell. You know what I mean? And I think that trailer of like people say the same that it's a trailer of like hope and stuff. I think it's right on. So I definitely want to see it. I mean, I do.
Awesome. And what was there? I'm trying to remember. There's I think Mark Waid wrote it. There's a Superman. I don't know if it was a graphic novel or if it was a series that I guess a lot of this is based on. A lot of the movie was it?
Not. It's actually more inspired by the Grant Morrison, Frank Quietly,
Okay.
All-Star Superman.
Okay, I did read that actually.
Is the big one. Mark Waid's fantastic. Obviously, he's super known for his Flash run.
Right.
And he's, from what I understand, he's killing it with his World's Finest series right now. But I mean, there was so much in this trailer. I love the sprinkling of other characters. Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner.
Mr.
Hawk
Terrific.
Girl.
Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific.
Oh yeah, I remember when
all three of us.
I remember Dee dressed up as Mr. Terrific one year for the multiverse party we did.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you were the Golden Age Sandman.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, right. That's right.
Photo of both you guys.
Yeah.
Metamorpho, Simon Stagg. I mean, there's so much in here.
Engineer, yeah.
But again, I'm rooting for these kind of films. I'm rooting for horror too. I'm rooting for horror to get. I'm saying elevated, not elevated horror, but I'm saying in the consciousness. I do feel they overlap, and the mediums don't get the credit they deserve.
Yeah.
In the world of comics, pictures are highly regarded. Words are highly regarded. You put them together, they become something for children. Horror movies, whether it be thrillers or suspense, end of the day, it's still a horror movie. I mean, whether it's big pouches, big ponytails, and big titties, there's still,
Jeez.
which I love all those things. But I know MZ likes one of them. But look at him smiling.
Ponytail. He loves ponytails.
He loves it. It's a huge ponytail.
Those are pouches. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry, Rajal, go ahead. Finish.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, end of the day, there's some great stories there, even when it's disguised in a cape or a fucking hockey mask.
Agreed.
He's going to have good writing and care about the characters.
So just to put a cap on this, I just wanted to talk about where the inspiration came from. So it says, James Gunn said the film would take specific inspiration from the comic book All-Star Superman, which you just mentioned, by Grant Morrison and Frank Quietly, which I did read some of that. I think I kept some of the issues. And the next day, that comic appeared on Amazon's list of best-selling comic books.
Birthright, probably, right?
Yes, that's the one I was thinking. Not Rebirth. Yeah, Birthright. The film was also inspired by the animated Superman short films from Fleischer Studios from 41 to 43, and by these comic books. The Superman Birthright limited series by Mark Waid, the 2008 Brainiac story arc from Action Comics by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank, the crossover events Superman Ending Battle from 2002 by Johns, Casey, Kelly, and Schultz, the Superman for All Seasons limited series by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, the Elseworlds limited series Kingdom Come by Mark Waid and Alex Ross, and Morrison's Action Comics run and the story Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow by Alan Moore and Kurt Swan.
I definitely got some of that. Yeah, for sure. I didn't love Birthright. It came out, for me, my version is always the John Byrne. Origin's my favorite. But I think Mark Waid did a great job on Kingdom Come.
Yeah. Oh, man, yeah. I think the Birthright stuff, I think it's just when Superman has, like, when it seems that the people are against him and, like, they're, like, throwing shit at him, I think that's when Birthright.
It was the first one to do that.
Yeah, to turn him heel almost. Or not, or have everyone turn heel against him. Because Luthor sort of like painted him as the villain, right?
Xenophobia.
Yeah. Yep.
Which they played more into Man of Steel, and you know, I mean, once again, Superman is still the ultimate illegal immigrant.
He is. Let's kick him the fuck out then, I guess, right?
Get out of
Jesus Christ! All right, let's move on. MZ is gonna. I don't know. He might have to keep any sort of sharp implements away from him if we continue.
Yeah, based on one of the film, what would the discussion? Yeah, MZ, go to sleep. See what happens.
The GIF that Corny posted was of Kevin Kline, and he says he said that GIF is Kevin Kline, Phoebe Cates' husband.
Yeah.
And he also
Kevin Kline, right?
yeah. And he also added, by the way, Mark Waid is from Alabama, not too far from where I'm from.
Yeah.
And Raven Shadow, Marion says, Raven Shadow, we are seeing Superman on opening day, even if I have to pump you full of modafinil to get you to the show. That's fun. That's a reference.
That's another thing. How long is this movie?
We don't know yet. It's not coming out till July.
It's got to be at least 2.5 hours long.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, maybe. And then she says, I mean like the midnight on Thursday before opening day.
Right on. Yes.
No.
Yeah, no, you're going, Raven Shadow. She said it. You're going.
No.
Yeah.
I will. I see your midnight opening day, and I will raise you taking the next day off and go seeing it in IMAX.
Why not go? You don't have to go at midnight. They probably have like 9 p.m. showings.
That's not fun for me. I like exiting a movie now in daylight.
You don't want to see. You don't want to be the first to see it.
You know, if you go with the midnight showing, it'll probably be daylight by the time it ends.
Touche.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Oh, actually, sorry, I wanted to say one more thing. Guy fucking Gardner.
Fucking Gardner, dog.
We get Guy fucking Gardner, played by Nathan Fillion, with the fucking bowl cut. I marked out for that.
Fucking bowl cut.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah, that was outstanding. And also, Will Reeve is listed in the credits as a TV reporter, and he looks just like Christopher. So it's got to be.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's got to be maybe one of his sons or somehow
Such a brother
related. He Massachusetts boy.
Okay.
Is that where Christopher Reeve?
No.
No, he wasn't from
I
that.
don't think so.
Okay, well,
Or like Indiana or some shit. Yeah, it might just be a last name.
No,
we know a couple of Smiths.
I just looked it up. His dad is Christopher Reeve, and his mom's Dana Reeve. So yeah,
Okay, all right.
it's he is a son. So it's pretty cool that he's in this. Awesome for James Gunn to put him in it. So
maybe he was rocking Massachusetts as a young kid.
Yeah, maybe.
The son of Kal-El, kneel before Zod.
Can we get Terrence Stamp in this?
Kneel before Vaude. Terrence Stamp was fucking awesome in that.
Terrence Stamp was fucking amazing.
I wish.
Kneel. The son of Jor-El, be my slave forever.
Kneel before Vaude.
Kneel.
What I go for my trouble? Bow, kneel, yield.
At the son of our jailer.
It was so over the top and megalomaniacal. It was brilliant. It was so awesome.
A fantastic performance. It really was. From all three from the Phantom Zone, really.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
they were all great.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Even Non with his non-speaking role. I mean,
was that Richard Bray?
Then he matured to become Amel Muzz from
Amel Muzz.
Yeah, he became Amel Muzz in Dragnet.
What was that?
Fuck you, Copper.
So don't listen to Spin Copper. I'd say, Dick,
watch out, Muppets.
That's right. Jack O'Halloran. That's his name. Yeah.
That's
great.
Yes.
And Sarah Douglas was Ursa. Fucking Ned Beatty, Jackie Cooper.
Yes.
Clifton
Real
James,
actors.
E.G. Marshall, Mark
Real
McClure
actors.
was. Oh yeah, I forgot he was Jimmy Olsen. Holy shit!
Yeah.
It's been so long.
Apparently,
He was
I think
young.
A legend where who was Non again? Who was Non again?
Jack O'Halloran.
Jack O'Halloran. Yeah.
Apparently, him and Reeve got into it on the set,
Really?
and Halloran was like, "I'm gonna fucking tune this motherfucker up," and at one point he picks up Reeve, and then Dick Donner's like, he's like, "Hey, just not in the face."
Not in the
He was
face.
like, "Don't hit him in the face," because I guess Reeve was a little bit, little
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And Al Halloran was like gonna fucking tune him up, but just punched him in the stomach.
Yeah,
I mean, Christopher Reeve's a good sized dude, but Jack O'Halloran's a fucking beast.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I forgot he was Emo Muzz in Dragnet.
We were just talking about. I just brought that up.
Oh, I was looking at his IMDb when you mentioned that.
Muzz, Amel
Amel
Muzz.
Buzz.
That's my new alias for hotel rooms.
Emo
Marion.
Muzz.
Sit on this and spin, Kal-El. I ain't saying dick until my lawyer gets here.
The best line in 2 was when Clark flies up. He's like, "General Zod, you want to step outside?" And fucking Lex is like, "Superman, thank God." No, I mean, get him.
Get him.
This
That's
is
great.
This is so kind of crazy. Jack O'Halloran was only in a handful of things since like 2010, and he has like 9 things in pre-production right now, upcoming.
Oh shit!
Huh.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Are they Superman documentaries?
No.
Good for
Well, he was
him.
in Happy Gilmore too, right?
No, that
No,
was
no.
That was
Richard Keel.
That's
Keel, great
Keel. That's who I actually that's who I thought it was at first. I always get them confused.
Excuse me, I believe that's Mr. Gilmore's jacket.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of Steven Scarlatta, I was listening to the greatest films never made, and I think Shooter McGavin was supposed to be the heavy in the Crusades movie with Schwarzenegger. That never happened.
I beg to differ.
What was what's his name? Christopher, the guy who plays Shooter McGavin. What's the actor's name? Holy shit.
Oh God, Christopher. My God,
Lamb.
really?
No.
McDonald, that's it.
McDonald.
Yeah, Christopher McDonald. He's so fucking good. In Requiem for a Dream. Oh, he's so good in that too.
Well, he was supposed to be at the Toy and Comic Con here in May earlier this year, but he had to cancel because he's out shooting Happy Gilmore too.
Because he realized it was in Maine.
with MJF. MJF's in Happy Gilmore too.
Oh, good for him.
Still happy.
Still happening.
Still happening.
Hey, what's happening?
Hey, what's happening?
All right,
Gilmore?
let's get it. Let's get a move on. Evil Corny posted the gif of Guy Gardner from the trailer. Oh, I guess that's already a gif.
Outstanding.
And Marion says, "Okay, fine. I'll go to the midnight show by myself, like I did to all the Nolan Batmans."
Oh, that's fucked up. Let's take this offline, okay?
I beg to differ.
Wow. So she's going to all the superhero movies alone, Raven Shadow. That's fucked up, man. You know,
Well,
sometimes
that's how it usually goes.
Raven Shadow.
You
Sometimes you got to
go
make
along.
concessions. You know,
They're fucking expensive, Wolfie, the concessions.
I know they are, but sometimes you got to
We're gonna
make them.
smuggle those in.
You may want to get out during the daylight,
All
but
right.
you know what? Not everyone does.
All right. We'll let's table this and we'll circle back and we'll discuss this.
This isn't a fucking work meeting.
Yeah, let's put it in the parking lot for now.
Moving forward, we'll discuss this at a later date.
Circle back.
Circle back. No one fucking circles back. It's just like let's put we put that baby to bed.
Huh?
I always wanted to say that.
All right,
Uh,
let's fucking let's I don't know. Let's do something. Jesus Christ.
Let's keep
All
talking
right.
about Superman and shit. Yeah.
yeah, baby, Double D's Pidgeot takeover, motherfucker.
So I thought the trailer was great though. That
Yeah.
looked awesome, and yeah, that's it. We'll cap it there. All right, we should probably wrap this up because we got essentially two films to talk about, and end of the year we got one more show next week. Boys, we got to think about the fucking year end top 13.
That's right.
Have you guys given any thought yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Raven Shadow's
little
like,
bit of
what?
thought,
We're doing the
but-
top 13?
Whoa.
13 what?
Evil Corny says, by the power of the AMC A-list be with you on your midnight show, Marion. Oh, may the power of the AMC A-list be with you on your midnight show, Marion. Aw, Parker. Look, MZ's got his own crypto.
Yeah, dude. You didn't fucking go fuck yourself. You weren't fucking moved.
If you got smashed into the fucking snow and you were near death, would Parker come and pull your cape back to safety?
God, no.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would. Yes, he would.
He loves you. Give him a kiss.
Yeah, give him a kiss. He loves you. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah. Aw.
Oh, look at that.
Anyone who
Look at
doesn't accept
brother.
dog kisses is a fucking monster.
Right.
I've seen people say, "Don't kiss me. It's gross." That's
Yeah.
a fucking monster.
I mean, like, not after you lick your penis. Like, I'm clearly.
Well, I
watching you lick
mean,
your
there are boundaries, Raven Shadow. You know.
It's like, I know
Jesus.
you do it. I don't want to see you do it.
Right.
All right, so let's wrap this shit up. Oh wait, looks like we got some chatter going on YouTube. Our boy Joshua Libre is hanging out, and he
Nice,
says,
nice.
"What's up, Trick or Treat Radio and Double D?"
What's up, Joshua Libre?
He
What's up?
says, "When Superman releases, I want a Trick or Treat Radio 7-hour reaction podcast."
Yes.
I won't be on it.
No. With MZ or no deal. With MZ.
Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
well,
Oh,
MZ can tag out. We'll bring Rocky in for that and have D with us.
Rocky and Corny. Double D.
Joshua Libre also says that didn't sound right. When Superman comes out in theaters is what I mean. He said when Superman releases.
On the rocks is fine.
Yeah, if Superman released, no one would be safe, right? And then also Frank Rambo is hanging out on YouTube. He says, "Sup, fellas? What's up, Frank Rambo?
Hey,
What's up, boy?" All right. So caught up on the chat for now. Now let's get to it. Let's wrap this up because we got a movie to talk about and a series to talk about. So if you guys want to help support the show like Double D has been doing for a very long time, you can head on over to Patreon, patreon.trickortreatradio.com, and you can join for as little as $2 a month. And currently, we have that big old bargain going on. Right now, you can get, let me pull up the details here, 20% off. What is going on? Is he trying to wrestle you?
just keep reading, man. Don't bother me.
Sorry, I can't help it.
You guys wanna get a
So
room?
until December 31st, we're offering a 20% discount for your first month. This is for new and returning Patreon supporters. When you sign up, just use code TORTR24. That's TORTR24 to redeem, and you get 20% off your first month. And just so we don't leave out our current supporters, since that's available to new and returning supporters, we also are doing a giveaway. We're giving away 3 free months of our highest tier. And all you got to do to enter is to just share the Patreon link on social media, tag us, or take a screenshot and send us a picture of you sharing it. So it can be, Twitter. I'm not going to call it X ever. So it could be Twitter. It could be Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky. Let's see, Mastodon. You name it. Just not Truth Social. That doesn't count. So just tag us. And if we're not on the social media platform and you can't tag us, then just go ahead and take a screenshot and then send that screenshot to us at podcast@trickortreatradio.com to get your entries in. We still have one person who is way ahead of everyone else. So if you guys want to get in on this and get 3 free months, then you got to play catch up and share it. Just tell people why they should check it out, why they should join, why you like it, and share the Patreon link, patreon.trickortreatradio.com. So there you have it. We got the 20% off your first month using the discount code TORTR24. Or if you're already a subscriber, you can try to win 3 months of our highest tier, and you will get Patreon takeover with that as well. So, all right, that's that. Check it out. And we have Patreon exclusive episodes monthly. We will be doing a companion piece to the year-end show, and that typically includes the Dear God No Awards, includes some honorable mentions, and also we do our personal top fives. I typically do my top 5 albums of the year, and but they differ. Do you guys know what you're doing yet for your top 5s?
Probably top 5 Superman stories.
I don't know yet.
So MZ will figure something out. So there you have it. That'll be coming up soon, like pretty much right at the new year. So we'll record the year-end show to drop on New Year's Day, and then the companion piece for Patreon will be out. Should be out the same day, if not the next day. All right. So that's Patreon. Give that a look, patreon.trickortreatradio.com, and you can get your own Patreon takeover if you want. If you're in the right tier, check that out. All right. Also, if you guys want to support, you can head on over to trickortreatradio.com, scroll down, look for the Amazon logo, click on it. It's going to bring you to Amazon. It's good to input our affiliate link. Everything you purchase in that session gets attributed to us. Doesn't cost them any extra, Raven Shadow.
But it's another way to help keep the lights on. My Christmas tree just fell down.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, I just my elbow bumped the Christmas tree.
Nice work.
That sucks.
You're going to be putting it back up. That's bad luck, you know. That's like 7 years bad luck.
Now you fucking tell me what's fucked up. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. And finally, on trickortreatradio.com, you can get the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio volumes 1 through 3. So click on store and you'll find those. That's it. No more. Raven Shadow, you sit down to watch a streaming series and a movie. How the fuck did you do that this week? How did you fit that in? What did you do to prepare?
Jury's still out, Wolfie, but I did get a chance to video chat with Double D early in the week, and that was dope.
Oh, you had him explain. Whoops.
The following podcast.
Oh my God, what's going on?
I remember my first podcast.
What the hell's going on over there?
I hit the space bar by accident, and like shit just started going nuts. I didn't even press anything other than that.
Oh,
right.
shit. Space bars.
Space.
Space
Spies.
Space
right.
bars.
Space
bars, the flamethrower.
There goes the planet.
I totally forgot what I was going to say now after that. What were you saying, Raven Shadow?
I don't know. I fucking had my pre-planned improv already, but you fucked that up.
You pre-planned improv. That's not... Wait, what?
What? No, I'm trying to say is, you know, I mean, Double D and I go back. He was the 4th member of the Kobayashi Maru. Really finished out that fucking quartet. And in the squared circle, when I would go for a tag, he was always quick with an arm. Maybe smelling a Boone's Farm, all right? One time, might have been drunk driving with a tank, and him and our friend Bullet did drive into a bank. You know what I'm saying? So you better believe my man over here got the marijuana flowing like Nino Brown passing out turkeys on Thanksgiving. So you better believe, as I work for a living, I strapped on. I'll pick up the treat.
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it.
The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories
With your hosts, John,
Josh,
and Luke.
we have action.
horror.
An adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
Find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast,
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
a podcast for the barbarian at heart.
I'm Alex West.
And I'm Andrea Subasati, and we're from the Faculty of Horror podcast.
And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Greetings! We are the Retro Reductopus Cephala Podcast, a bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
He's right. We wax philosophic about lots of geeky crap like old video games and movies, toys, cartoons. I don't know, help me out here.
Music, pants,
quoting video games that don't have dialogues,
Shabibers.
tasty news,
Unnecessarily long Japanese onomatopoeia.
Butt breathers.
Uncomfortable nature facts.
Or how to install a Samouflage.
And unlike all those other podcasts, we at Retro Redoctopus have an exciting rotating host schedule.
Do we?
We sure do. So, if you didn't like the guy flapping his gums this week,
like me,
worry not, gentle listener. Next week we'll have a whole new host.
Of problems.
Hey, they might still suck, but they'll suck differently.
And you know what's really cool? Retro Redoctopus is part of the Inebriard Podcast Network, with new episodes out every Tentacle Tuesday.
Which is like every other Tuesday. We named it.
Anyways, you can listen to us at iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, or straight from the tab, redoctopus.buzzsprout.com.
I could be standing outside a woman's prison in a fistful of 50s and a bouquet of dildos, and no woman would come near me.
Do you say a bouquet of dildos?
And we have returned on Trick or Treat Radio. Well, most of us. The important ones, the ones that matter, are back.
He's got problems, Wolfie.
I got problems, Wolfie. All right, it is time to talk about a movie, and we're going to talk about Salem's Lot from 2024. Let me pull up the details on this here. Let's see. Okay, not Superman. I was looking that up last. That's not what I want. Okay, Salem's Lot from 2024. The film is rated R. It is 114 minutes, and it is directed by Gary Dauberman. Written by Gary Dauberman, obviously based on the novel from Stephen King. And the film stars Lewis Pullman. Yes, that is Bill Pullman's son. Mackenzie Lee, Jordan Preston Carter, Alfre Woodard. You know what? Holy shit, I didn't even realize that was Alfre Woodard. That's crazy.
No?
No. Yeah. I just haven't seen her in anything in so long. Also, Bill Camp, John Benjamin Hickey, Nicholas Crivetti, who is the twin brother of, what's his brother's name? He's the one who plays Homelander's kid in The Boys.
Oh, he was in something else, too.
Cameron
twin?
Cameron Crivetti. Yeah, I said they're twins, yeah. Nicholas and Cameron Crivetti. So Nicholas was in this, though. And he played Danny Glick. Yep.
Uh-huh.
And try to see if there's anyone else. I didn't even recognize him either. Holy shit. William Sadler.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought so.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Now that I see his name, I'm like, holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, he got old.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's why I didn't recognize
It kind of took me by surprise. I'm looking at him. I'm like, is that William Sadler? It looks a lot like him, but I'm not too sure because he really aged.
Yeah, sure enough. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it was Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Damn right.
Yeah.
And Save the Music.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah, that's right. Best 3 to 5 Davenite.
Save the Music.
You'll
Die
sunk.
Hard 2.
You'll
Die
sunk
Hard
by
2.
battleship.
My battleship.
I want to see that fucking
Shawshank
movie.
Redemption 4. Yeah. Damn right.
All right, and the synopsis for this film. An author returns to his hometown of Jerusalem's Lot in search of inspiration for his next book, only to discover that the townspeople are being attacked by a bloodthirsty vampire.
It's a vampire.
All right, so has anyone else read this book?
Obviously, I have. Yeah. So
D? Okay, yeah, I have too. It's one of the first. I think it is the first book that I remember scaring me when I was a kid. And it was one of the first Stephen King books that I read. So it's been a very long time since I've read this. Probably bordering on close to 40 years or something like that. So I don't remember a ton about the book, but while watching the film, a lot of it was like, oh yeah, okay, I remember this, I remember that. So it kind of came back to me, but there's a lot I don't recall. MZ, have you ever read the book or seen the previous films?
No, I've never read the book, but I have seen the Tobe Hooper 1979 version of it, which, I mean, I think it's good. I don't think it's great. Some of it is a bit of a slog to sit through, but the visuals are really, really striking in this film. In the 79 film.
Yeah. And how about
that's
you?
what sticks out in my head, as well as Fred Willard in satin underwear, wearing a Red Sox jacket. So you never want to get that out of your head.
All right.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like looking at the character, David Soul played Ben Mears in Tobe Hooper's, and like just talking about like the difference in age. We were talking about that with Nicholas Hoult and Gene Hackman. But David Soul, like I remember, I haven't seen that in a very long time, the 1979 one, but in this, Ben Mears looks way younger than he did in that.
Big time.
Yeah, and I think this felt like it felt like a good age for Ben Mears to me. But all right, so let's see. Is there anything else I missed? Okay, so I think that kind of sets the scene. I wanted people to know if we had anything. Oh, Raven Chow, did you say if you had seen any of the previous movies or read the book?
I had not seen the movie, and I think as I became aware of it, made for TV movies in the 70s and 80s and early 90s weren't quite as good. I mean, there was some handful here or there, but overall, speaking of lowest common denominator, it was like your Sunday night special for the most part. And those always seem whack to me. The book, I mean, it's funny, like I talk about, we've always all talk about the VHS box art, right?
Yeah.
But I would think the Salem's Lot book probably might have been the first, at least, book cover that might have scared me. I remember reading the back, and I remember like some New England town. Oh, I live in New England. Oh, all you could hear is the sucking sounds.
Right.
Oh, what's that about? So I knew it always kind of scared me a little bit, even without reading it. I was a fucking kid. It wasn't like I was 25, but and I didn't know it was done by Tobe Hooper. Hooper, rather.
I was gonna say that's because it was Tobe Hooper.
yeah. Tobe Hooper, Dennis's cousin.
He did a made for TV deal. But it's so there was obviously the Tobe Hooper or Hopper, depending on who. There was a Return to Salem's Lot from 1987.
Yes.
Which was I actually don't. I'm pretty sure I've seen that. I don't know if it was based on.
No, it's
anything.
It had nothing to do with Stephen King's work. It was very bad. It was very bad.
Okay.
I saw it once and I don't remember any of it.
Okay, because I knew Stephen King had did like a couple shorts. Like there's Jerusalem's Lot that was in one of his books of short stories. But he never did a sequel per se. So
no, he didn't. So,
and then there was also another TV miniseries from 2004 with Rob Lowe and Andre Braugher.
Yeah.
which I never saw that.
And I think Donald Sutherland's in that
you're right.
too. I think.
Yes, correct.
Donald Sutherland, yeah.
Barlow. Yeah, he plays Barlow, Mr. Barlow. Yeah, correct.
What's up, bud?
And let's see, Samantha Mathis was in that. Rutger Hauer was in that. Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
James Cromwell. Yeah, pretty good cast in that one. I didn't see. I think Rob Lowe's. I think he'd be a good Ben Mears. I'd like to see that sometime.
Yeah.
But okay, and then obviously this one in 2024. So it's had its fair share of retellings, I guess. And in this one, as we mentioned, Gary Dauberman tackled this. So D, what was the impetus for choosing this? How come you wanted to talk about Salem's Lot with us?
Yeah, well, I'm a huge Stephen King fan. I read the majority of pretty much all his books. His movies are very his movie adaptations are very hit or miss. For every Green Mile or Shawshank, you get like Christine, 5 Christines or
Sleepwalkers
or Tommy Knockers or something like that.
England.
You know what I mean? So,
Graveyard Shift.
Right, Graveyard Shift. Right, a Graveyard Shift. So and don't even get me started on Dark Tower. You know what I mean? So it's probably one of my favorite books, and it had Idris Elba and McConaughey. It was just so it's
you don't like it, Deep?
No, not at all. His Dark Tower series is like his magnum opus. He's written that for over 30 years those books, and it's very hard to tell in like a 2-hour. Less than 2-hour movie, which was and it's just so because I'm a huge King fan. I was curious about the adaptation. I read the book a couple of times. I saw the original miniseries many times. Scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I remember specifically one scene in the old Toby Hooper adaptation was when Danny Glick came back to get Mark Petrie to turn him and he was knocking at the window, with that creepy practical makeup that was very prevalent for 70s horror.
Yeah.
I literally had like a crucifix on my head for like a year.
That's the scene that scared me. Like in the book, that scene was like. The way it was written was so fucking visceral,
right?
Horrifying,
right.
Yeah.
But it completely terrified me as a child. You know what I mean? So I like the adaptation. Actually, King wasn't crazy about the adaptation because he didn't like the way they handled Mr. Barlow. He was more of a Nosferatu type. And in the book, Barlow was eloquent. He spoke. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he had his Renfield type, of Straker, but he spoke in the books. And this one for the Hooper, and even for this one here, he was, even though he spoke here a couple of times, Mr. Barlow, he was still very much the Nosferatu type. Now, ironically enough, the 2004 version, the miniseries with Rob Lowe is more loyal to the book adaptation, actually. So Rutger Hauer, who plays Barlow, actually does the whole talking bit and stuff, So he's not like a Nosferatu type. So if you don't want to check that out, I wasn't that crazy about it, but it was a pretty good adaptation, But yeah, so anything pretty much related to King, to Stephen King, I check out. So I was very curious about this one. It came out right around Halloween time too, around mid-October. So I just want to check it out,
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm glad you did because I didn't want to see this anyways. So,
yeah.
Looking at the actor Alexander Ward, he played Barlow in this, and looks like he actually has a pretty long history of playing monsters. So
saw that actually on IMDb. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he actually he was in Studio 666 as well. That movie that we did with the Foo Fighters.
Right. Yeah.
And he was in Army of the Dead. Zack Snyder. He played a vault shambler, I guess. So yeah, he's played some monsters. Yeah, he's actually done a few movies that we've done on the show. So, all All right, well let's dive in and let's do some first impressions. So we'll start with MZ. What did you think? What was your first impression of the Salem's Lot?
Well, I was kind of excited to see this. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of remakes, but my stance is that has kind of lightened up over the past several years. And I was kind of hoping that what I would get is the same kind of atmosphere. I mean, at the very least, I was hoping I would get that, and I got it. It's got really good atmosphere, especially during those night scenes, exterior night scenes. Great atmosphere in this film. I really wasn't sure what to expect, actually, outside of that, because it is a hit or miss sort of thing. And again, it all depends on who you talk to. Some people love the original film. Some people don't like it. Some people are in the middle. And basically, as far as the Return to Salem's Lot goes, everyone forgets about that. The remake in 2004, some people have liked it. Again, some people not. Again, some people in the middle. So it was interesting to see whether or not this film was going to break that mold. To break that barrier of saying, you know what, here is a good story on Barlow and of Salem's Lot, and it's going to be interesting to see how they handle the material and the characters, and if there's going to be any arcs involved, as well as settings, and just have that right tone for upper New England, and because Maine, I mean, after living in Maine, I can tell you it has a very specific, it has its own look. I mean, even though this movie was shot in Massachusetts, the locations that they got for it is pretty remarkable. It looks like Maine. I looked up some of the locations of where it was shot, and a lot of it was shot in Stowe. So I'm like, okay, I don't know Stowe that well, but if that's Stowe, it can pass for Maine pretty easily. I was also kind of surprised to find out that this was a period piece, that they're staying with the current time that the original story was set in.
I like that.
This is like in the late 70s.
Yeah, I'm glad they did.
At first I wasn't too sure when it was set, because everybody had a kind of hairstyle that everybody's hairstyle looked kind of modern, but at the same time, it kind of had that shaggy look to it, especially on the guys, had that shaggy look to it that can pass for today's style.
Sure.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking, don't look at me like that. So I was kind of like a little put off by whether or not this is a modern telling or if it's a period piece. And it's a period piece. It took me a little while to understand that.
What gave it away? The Red Sox jacket?
Yeah. Well,
the landline phones.
Look, there could have been something there that you know what tipped me off that this was a period piece? When they showed the on the marquee of the drive-in how much it cost to get in. That was the first $1.75. That was the first indication that okay, this takes place in the late 70s or whatever.
Right,
I had no idea. I had no idea that this took place back then.
A bowl of soup was a nickel?
Huh? Funny. So anyway, but I was interested to see where this was going to go.
Yeah.
All right, Ravenshaw, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, when this came out, I mean, I saw some mixed things online, but always intrigued by it, and I think I was born too late or born too soon for Stephen King in terms of his books. I feel like it's right in my wheelhouse, but I just missed.
We were born at the right exact time, man.
Yeah,
this is one of his first books in '75. So it was right before. What's that, D?
His second book, right after Carrie. He wrote this one. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, he had only been going for a couple years before we were born. So, he hit it. He was like at his fucking peak when we were old enough to read, I think,
Oh, for sure. I just maybe I just needed the right push. You know what I mean? Where I just like I feel I would adore the gunslinger world, the Dark Tower world.
Yeah, you would.
I feel that's
right
the closest thing to and King. Sorry, earmuffs. Monster Zero. King is a comic book fan.
Yes.
And I feel like Dark Tower is definitely, in that vein with its crossovers and the way he, interlaps. That's otherwise not even a word. But
Twice.
Thank you. Such a fucking tag team brother right there. See how he fucking tagged himself in? Blind tag right there.
Right.
But I love the intro a lot. That reminded me of like it would be for a series. But no, I was definitely down. I love the aesthetic, and it made sense to not only set it in the past. That's when the book was fucking written. Right. So it was always whack when it was fucking the book was set in 1935. Now we're in 2005. Let's fucking changes some things, doesn't it?
Right.
So I thought it was right. It was the right choice to make.
All right. How about you, D? What was the first impression when you did get a chance to see this?
Yeah, I actually like MZ said, and Raven shout out too. I dug the atmosphere. I dug the fact that they kept it in 1975. As to when the book was written. I thought it was real cool to keep that aesthetic to it. It did have a very creepy atmosphere, especially like what MZ said during the nighttime and stuff too. You know what I mean? So as always, the movies tend to take some creative liberties, with the source material, which is fine. I'm not totally against that stuff. You know what I mean? So I did dig it. I do wish that because in the original miniseries and in the book, the Marston House was more of an entity, a menacing entity. It was like a character more in and of itself. Like it was frankly like the book and the original miniseries. It's kind of like a haunted house and a vampire story at the same time too. It actually Ben Mears' trauma is what brings him back to Salem's Lot of what happened to him at the Marston House. So I wish that they would have focused a little bit more on the house as well. But overall, I dug the aesthetics, and I dug the atmosphere, and I dug the overall story.
All right, cool. As for me, so I agree with a lot of what you guys said about the atmosphere, and I think this definitely had a very Stephen King feel to it. Like, sure. I know what you're saying, MZ. Like, it had that feel like it was in Maine. This took place. This was very prototypical New England, right? And right down to like some of the accents and the fucking. What was the character's name with the Red Sox jacket again?
Oh, he was great.
Jason Burke.
Yeah,
Jason
yeah,
Burke.
Okay. So with Burke, his, like if I'm not mistaken, he was listening to the Red Sox, and like it just had that feel, right? Like that's what you fucking do, like especially then when TV wasn't as not everyone had a TV, and back then baseball was very popular to listen to on the radio. So I really dug that. I think the things for me where it maybe didn't quite live up to the book, or my memory of the book, or even maybe the miniseries from '79, is so you're taking a fucking novel, and it has been done as a miniseries on 2 other occasions, And even that, like, you can't fit everything in, right? In a miniseries, 4 hours or whatever it was, you can't fit everything in. And this, like, I feel like it felt rushed at times. Or,
you're absolutely
yeah, or you didn't get enough character development. And, like, I feel like I really liked the stuff between Ben and Susan, you know, but I feel like it was so quick. You know, like, all of a sudden now she's sleeping at his place, you know, and
Right.
you know, like, I don't know, like, I just felt like that all happened so quick, and we didn't really get much into Ben Mears' backstory about, like, why he came back, like you said. And I get it. You got to cut some stuff out. You just can't, you just can't do everything. But, and I also felt like Mark Petrie, he's such a cool character, and I feel like we barely even got to know him.
Right.
You know, like, that scene, the scene that you were mentioning earlier with when Danny comes to his window, that is fucking creepy as fuck. And they did a good job of that, I thought, in this. Nothing's ever going to live up to how you imagine it when you're reading the book.
Sure. Right.
But, you know, I thought they did a pretty good job of doing that. But I just feel like we didn't really get to know Mark all that well. And I seem to remember, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, D, but I seem to remember Mark and Ben having like a better relationship. Like they kind of hung out more, or like were working together more.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's very true.
Yeah, and in this, and then when it gets to sort of the culmination, when it gets to, you know, near the end, it almost feels like we're already here. What the hell? Like, you know, it just felt rushed. But I mean, I get it. It's a novel, and it's one of those things you just can't possibly get everything in there. But I just felt like it just felt to me a little bit rushed. And another thing about this I was kind of reading about is apparently this almost sort of met the same fate as Batgirl and Coyote versus Acme. WB almost just fucking buried this.
Yeah, it was a development hell for a long time, for about 10 years or so. You know what I mean? It was for a real long time. It was supposed to get a theatrical release too at some point. Then they pulled back on that. You know what I mean? So and like you said, Wolf, it's just like that also was my take on it, because, like, you know, obviously when a book, it's different. You know, you get these buildup of the relationships with Ben and Susan and with Mark, and even in the original miniseries, like, you know, you get more backstory, you know, for these characters, but, you know, it felt super rushed. Agreed.
Yeah, and so it was originally supposed to come out fall 2022. It didn't end up coming out till fall 2024, so 2 years later. And now part of it was because of COVID delays, like, you know, in fall 2022. At that point, I don't think a lot of people were going to the theaters, and movies had got moved back from the previous year or two. So it just was one of those ones. And I guess WB was like, yeah, like we don't really like this too much. And then it almost became one of those tax write-offs, and then they just decided to dump it on Max, I guess, to try to get something out of it. I guess Stephen King tweeted about it in February of 2024 and said that he had seen it and liked it. And then after that, like shortly after, WB announced it would be coming on Max. So I don't know if he was privy to that, or if he sort of like helped kind of shepherd that whole process along or not. I'm not sure. But yeah, it has a lot of good things going for it, but ultimately, you know, I think that it does feel rushed, and it doesn't quite land, stick the landing as well as I would have liked based on the book. So that's, I guess, maybe a little bit more of first impression. But yeah, let's dive in a little bit more and talk about some of the other things. So anything you guys, like, you know, since we're doing two things, we probably won't get to everything. So is there anything that you guys specifically want to call out and talk about?
Yeah.
Good.
Well, first of all, let me just say that this does feel like a Cliff Notes version of Salem's Lot. I just never really particularly cared for any of these characters. Now I haven't read the book. Okay. I should correct that shit. I live 65 miles away from the man.
Oh, he knows it.
Yeah,
He fucking knows.
Yeah, the restraining order says as much.
I've got
Don't get any fucking closer, assholes.
And just everyone tries to be trendy by, well, let me explain. The town is actually called Jerusalem's Lot, okay, then shortened to Salem's Lot. And it was always called Salem's Lot. You watch the movies, the miniseries, Salem's Lot, Salem's Lot, Salem's Lot. In this movie, everyone calls it The Lot. And I'm like, Burke is like talking to the kid who got beat up, Petrie. And he's like, you gotta watch what you say to bullies in the lot. It's like, oh, give me a break. Just the dialogue is just nauseating to me. The girl Norton, Susan, yeah, that's her name.
Norton.
She offered
I love you, Wolfie.
She offered absolutely nothing in this movie. Nothing. She offered up nothing. No help. She was nothing more than a tag along in this film. Mm-hmm. She really was. She offered up nothing as far as help goes, as far as assistance to other people might be concerned goes. She was just there. And the only reason why she was there is because she was banging mirrors.
Wow. I think, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think her opening scene I thought was great. I thought that was a really good opening scene. And then after that, they didn't really do anything with her. I actually
it was a good introduction.
The drive-in scene, actually, I liked as well. The first drive-in scene, I thought was cool. She was kind of like, calling out everyone's thing, all their gimmicks, so to speak, brother. And I thought that was a good scene as well. But then, after that, she just kind of became like, part of the background almost. Just fodder.
She's just there because she's banging Ben Mears. That's it.
And he needed some sort of dilemma, right? Like.
Yeah, because otherwise, what is he going to do if he doesn't have anyone to particularly put all his emotions on? Otherwise, it would be meaningless. But she just, offer up something like the scene in the basement where shit's going down, and this is the scene where they just realize, hey, let's put two sticks together and make a cross. Right. And she's like, you're the writer. Think of something. It's like, bitch, you think of something. It's like, really?
Well, she's not a writer.
Like, this ain't my story, dog.
Now you're just rationalizing. Another problem that I have is, and I know it's part of the story, but I just can't stand this at all. And it's part of the reason why I can't stand the Jurassic Park films, is that when you have an adult situation going on that adults, for the most part, would tend to and take care of, instead you got little kids stepping in and running the place. And I just find no believability in that at all. No.
Well, you grew up in the 70s. Like, there's no parents around. And in the 80s, like when I don't know, we used to go play, like there'd be no fucking parents around. We'd do whatever the fuck we wanted.
Yeah.
So I think that's just trying to play that up.
But it just doesn't. It doesn't feel real to me, man. Well, little Timmy, what should we do? And these are grown adults asking a little kid, regardless of whether he knows, knows what's going on, whether he's an expert or not. Yeah, you get advice, but you don't let the kid lead the way. Okay. in realistic terms, it just comes off bad. It doesn't play off real to me.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, so they actually made Mark a lot. I mean, he was brave in the book, but he was like insanely brave in this. Like when he went to the church and to get the whole water, like I'm gonna go kill Barlow. We'll talk later. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean,
yeah.
That scene when he walks into the church and he's got the two doors bursting open and he walks through that's like, oh my God, are you? They are really playing this up.
I thought that was pretty ridiculous, to be honest. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go kill Barlow. We'll talk later. So I'm like, what are you doing? Like it was, I understand what they were trying to do, but it was just it just it crosses the line of sometimes of believability and stuff. You know what I mean? I do understand that. Yeah, I get that. And so
like with some of that, like I mean, it's not a fucking like to like comparison, but like some Monster Squad shit where like they fucking knew what was going on.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
You know
right.
what I mean?
Well, first of all, it's Monster Squad. You got a team of what, 4 or 5 kids? They could pool their resources together. This is one
and
kid.
Fucking Rudy was harsh. Just fucking so we know. He smoked butts and rode fucking BMX bikes.
Touche. Yeah.
Make that movie.
But I think for me, like I did overall like the movie, but one of the main issues for me was just what I mentioned earlier. Like they took out a really huge plot element those both in the book and in the original miniseries. You know what I mean? Was that Ben, the writer, Ben Mears, was traumatized by this house, by what happened at the Marston house. He was dared to go in the house. Because it was a haunted house, and then what he saw there was the guy who lived there before. What he lived was he hung himself by his neck after he killed his wife and his kids. And what Ben saw at that time was he saw Hubie Marston. That was the guy's name. He saw Hubie Marston hanging by his neck. And he turned and he looked at him, and he was completely traumatized by that event. So he went back to Salem, obviously to write his book, but also to kind of like confront like his fears about what happened, to him as a child. I'm not sure why they took that out completely, from this movie. Obviously it would have added a bit more depth to the character. You know what I mean? But hence why it felt like all these characters were so like rushed. That you didn't feel like you could make any type of connection with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. What about the vampire effects? Like, I thought it was hit or miss. There was one scene where Mark Petrie was when he went to his treehouse. That looked fucking terrible. Like. Because the kids were very clearly CGI outside the treehouse, and I just didn't look good.
Yeah.
MZ, I think you're muted.
Yeah, that looked terrible.
Yeah, that was one of the worst scenes in it, and it just looked bad, and it just didn't look real to me. So that was bad. But I thought that there were some other scenes that were good. I like some of the effects. Like, I won't give it away, but like at the end there's an effect where that happens to the main vampire I thought was cool.
It
was probably just CGI, but I thought it was a cool effect, the way they did it.
I like the effect there with you remember with when Jason Brooks' house, when he invited Mike Ryerson, the guy, the like when
from the cemetery.
Yeah. When he turned, and he confronted him and stuff, I thought that seemed actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
And even like one very subtle scene when they all came back to Jason Brooks' house, and Ben stops Susan from driving. He's like, wait, don't go in. And she's like, why? Because there are vampires on top of the roof of Jason's house, and you see it, and it looks real fucking creepy and stuff. I thought that effect was pretty cool, but like you said, it was hit or miss. I hated that treehouse scene as well too, but it was pretty hit or miss with the vampire effects. Yeah.
Yeah, the vampire effects. It's not that hard to make a decent vampire effect, really. I thought the glowing eyes was a little cheesy.
Uh-huh.
I think it would have worked a little better if they had used contacts, rather than glowing eyes. I think that just comes off as a little bit cheesy to me.
Like in the miniseries, I thought those vampire effects were so good.
They are
in the old miniseries. They were so good. Like, yeah.
Well, Barlow was more humanistic, of course, on a Nosferatu level, but he was also more humanistic. Here, not the Nosferatu, but Barlow, you can see he's got prosthetics all over his face to give like indentations around his temples and around the jawline and everything like that. And I mean, this is no Reggie Nalder, this guy. Okay, he might play good in Monsters and other movies, but he's no Reggie Nalder. I will say though that I thought with Glick and coming through the window, because that was the big scene everyone was waiting for. When he was coming to the window. That was the scene everyone was waiting for, I'm sure, and I was waiting for it too.
With the mom too, when his mom turned, Marjorie Glick, Danny Glick's mother, when they were at
yeah.
I thought that was a good scene too, actually. When she turned, actually, yeah, I thought it was a good scene there.
But that was the scene everyone was waiting for, I'm sure, as was I. And I'll admit, it looked good. It was creepy. It was atmospheric. It was slow moving. The problem, though, and the problem with a lot of the scares in this film, are that they're quick jump scares. But as soon as the scare hits, it edits away to something else. So you never really get the full impact of that scare. And this happens at least half a dozen times. And I was really getting frustrated. And I'm like, God damn it, you got some good atmosphere going on here. You're playing it out, you're drawing it out, you're building that suspense. Then as soon as it hits, you cut away. And I'm like, no, you don't do that. You stay with it. Give us something. Give us something to for lack of a better term, sink our teeth into. No pun intended. It just cuts away too quick, and I don't know what they were trying to accomplish by doing that, because it makes no sense. You got atmosphere, you got tension, and you're just stripping it away with these quick edits. And I'm like, God damn it.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The overall, I think that what this movie has going for it is sort of like the feel. Like, I think it kind of nails that King aesthetic for kind of a sleepy New England town. Like, it even got like a little bit of a silver bullet vibe.
Yeah. Piss on the Yankees. Piss on the Yankees.
Because I think that movie kind of nails it too, right? Like, they get a nice kind of sleepy New England town vibe where shit's going weird,
And there's a difference between like the Boston area and when you get into
sure. Yeah, like Maine or New Hampshire. Yeah.
It's New England, but it gets a little bit different.
Yeah, no doubt.
Little less books being read. Just saying.
Don't tell Stephen King.
But, I'm saying.
Yeah.
and you could see that. What's the actor's name? Let me see. Crovetti. You could see he was relishing in that role after he turned. And especially when he starts attacking, you could see he's relishing that role. And and it's a fairly solid job. But he's just having fun with it. You could tell.
Yeah.
You can tell. The guy who played Burke, I thought he was very good. Yep. He was believable. I think and with a couple of other characters who refer to Salem's Lot as the Lot. I mean, the kids in the Sandlot don't even call that the Lot. You know, not that Wolfie would know. He's never seen the fucking film.
Christ.
But right, bitch him out. Double D, bitch him out.
That's insane, Wolfie. You're a baseball fan too. You like baseball too. That's insane.
You know,
like we have Grafton Hill up here. They call it G Hill. I mean, you know,
that could be Grant Hill for all we know.
Grant Hill.
But you know, I just think that the dialogue just really kind of stinks in some areas.
It stinks and it sucks.
It stinks, sucks, bites, and blows all at the same time.
Jesus, that's the worst action feature ever.
It's just too much. They try to layer it a little bit too thick with style over substance.
I'm afraid you're just too darn loud.
with this kind of dialogue, it's unnecessary. One thing I will give it credit for, though, I think this film, especially during the ambiance scenes, during the more atmospheric scenes, I think the score for this film is actually quite good.
I do agree with that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
During the more atmospheric scenes, during the daytime scenes, not so much. You know, it's kind of generic. But when you get to those nighttime scenes, exterior scenes, the score during the window scene, I thought was very good. It had that right amount of tension, right amount of atmosphere. It played itself. It worked with the scenes perfectly.
Let's see. I was a little. Double D had mentioned earlier about I forget which one. I think it was the 1979. But Barlow has been, kind of different in the different series of the different portrayals. I felt like this one kind of, I don't know. I just feel like it just wasn't quite what I was expecting or hoping from that character. Like we only got a couple scenes of him talking, really. So I don't know. I feel like they could have done more with him too.
He didn't talk at all in the 79 miniseries, at all. But he did talk a lot in the 2004, with Rob Lowe and Rob playing him and stuff, which is more loyal to the book. You know what I mean? So, but even though, like I said, even though in the 79 series where he didn't talk, I thought it was a better portrayal of Barlow. I thought like Rich said, Reggie Nalder did just an amazing job as the portrayal of Barlow for that role. He actually hated the makeup. I remember reading that in an interview back then for 79, where he's like, I hated putting that vampire on somebody, but they paid me a lot of money, so yeah, I did it.
Yeah, you got it right.
So,
all right.
I don't know. I think practical effects, would have actually benefited this movie more. This is why, I'm very. I think you need practical effects sometimes. You don't need to do go CGI crazy all the time. You don't. You really don't. But I don't know. My 2 cents.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. All right, do you guys want to do the verdict on this one?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
All right, I think we can do that. So let's head to the verdict.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it is verdict time. We're going to let you know whether Salem's Lot was a trick or a treat. Any final thoughts? Let's start with MZ.
The film's got good atmosphere, particularly the nighttime scenes. It's also got a fairly decent score. I enjoyed that quite a bit. And that's pretty much where it ends with me. Yes, the window scene it does have a good moment in there. It is good. The buildup is good. The payoff, not so much. But then again, a lot of the scares in this here had good build-up without a decent payoff, unfortunately. I feel that the acting in here felt a little stilted. It does feel rushed, like you were saying, Wolfie. It's very obvious, but I mean, like, you can only fit whatever you can in it. But the thing is about a Stephen King novel is that he'll describe 17 different ways of how a leaf looks when it's sitting on the ground. So, you got to take it for what it's worth. I didn't like this too much. This wasn't very good. One of these days, we're going to get an ultimate Salem's Lot movie. We're going to get it sooner or later. They've had 4 tries, and so far, it's barely over mediocre as far as the best one is concerned, and that's the first one. Yeah, I didn't particularly care for this one that much. I think the story was, it again, very truncated. The acting was stilted. The dialogue was a little silly at times. It did have its moments, but not enough for me to recommend this. This is a trick for me.
All right. Raven Shadow, how about you?
It's going to be hard, right? I mean, like, to be a true Stephen King fan of the novels, like I know D and others are, to almost cringe probably when there's an adaptation. We've definitely seen the shitty ones. And the books are so dense. I mean, I've read books that are half the length of a Stephen King book, and they fucking don't get everything right, but there's so much in the Stephen King world, and probably that might because of a lot of cocaine.
Could be.
Worked really well for that guy. Just saying. Certain rock bands and Stephen King.
Sure.
Sometimes coke works for some people.
Yeah.
Not now, because fentanyl's bad. But watching Stephen King adaptations, I watch it from a weird perspective where, like, I haven't read it, but I wonder what they changed to simplify it. So it's a weird dynamic where I'm like, what's really the fucking, sometimes death is better. All right, that's probably the fucking real line from the book. You know what I mean? That Herman wants to say. But I think ambience-wise, it did a great job. It had that ambulant entertainment. And I'm saying Stranger Things. I know it's fucking inspired by the shit that came first, but I think it had that. If you're a fan of that work, this could be in your wheelhouse. I always like vampires.
Thought you like Dracula's.
I do. Sorry. Fuck vampires. I'm a big Dracula mark. That kind of shit. But yeah, I would say this is and I agree to MZ. Somewhere along the lines is probably going to be a super dope version of King's work. And you know what? Do fucking true miniseries. Do like a fucking 12 episode fucking run, because there are so many characters. And almost like, would this movie have been better if they just scrapped the Stephen King shit and made their own movie?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, now you got Netflix, you got these streaming services that can fund these things with the proper amount of money. That's where it should be, in like Netflix or some
Prime,
streaming service
or
like that, or Prime, or Peacock,
or Hoodoo, and Flippity-Doo, and fucking whatever the fuck, Pudio. I would say this is a tepid treat.
All right. And for me, maybe my love of the story is sort of like, changing. Clouding my judgment. That's a good way of putting it. And, I feel like ultimately, because I like the story, but ultimately this was rushed. It felt really rushed, and there's some things that are just okay, but ultimately I enjoyed watching it. Like it was nostalgic, and it had a good feel to it a lot of times. So I think I would say like tepid treat. Yeah, I think I'd go with tepid treat. It's kind of on the fence, but just my love of the story is going to kind of put it over the top a little bit. And I feel like this was handled with some care. Like I think the director who also wrote it is probably a big fan, but I just feel like it, who knows as well with it being in purgatory for a while. Maybe they edited it down, or maybe, who fucking knows? Maybe there's a better version out there. But at almost 2 hours, I feel like probably not much more you can do to this unless you make it a mini series like the others. But yeah, ultimately, I think there's a lot of things that just kind of let me down about it. But there was enough nostalgia and things that they did right to, not to kind of give it that just that edge to make it a tepid treat. So there you go. I'll stop there. I'm not gonna say any more. We get a whole series to talk about now. So Salem's Lot, it is streaming on Max. If you guys have Max, you can check it out there. It might also be available on VOD as well, I think. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's just exclusive there. But all right, we'll check it out if you want. And next up, we're just going to kind of roll right in, and we're going to talk about the other recommendation that D had for us. And this is a streaming series, I guess miniseries, or hopefully gets another season after what we saw in season 1. But Edge of Sleep, it is 6 episodes and is a TV-14 TV series, and it's, let's see, I'm trying to find I think it was all directed by Markiplier, right? I think that's the YouTuber who plays who plays Dave.
Okay.
Markiplier is his YouTuber handle, yeah.
Okay. So, it was directed by Corey Adams. Mm-hmm. And let's see. I'm trying to see if we've seen anything from Corey. He did a couple TV movies and done some like makeup effects and stuff like that. So the first episode was directed by Corey Adams. I'm not sure if he did all 6. I think he did all 6. And let me get back to the series here. And it stars Mark Fishbach, who is Markiplier or Markiplier. I'm not sure how you say it.
Markiplier,
Markiplier on YouTube, and also stars Leo Tipton, Franz Drama, Eve Harlow, and Carlo Rota, in a very fucking weird character.
Yeah, right. Right.
He's been in a lot of other movies you might recognize. Carlo Rota was in Saw 5, The Boondock Saints. Where's Raven Shadow? He'd be going nuts over that. Apparently he's in General Hospital. He does a voice in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, the video game. You're playing that, right?
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, he does Father Cesar Ventura. Ventura.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I recognized him. I mean, he's been in a bunch of other stuff. Did a lot of video game voices as well. But anyways, he plays a very odd character in this. And we'll stop there. There's a bunch of other folks in this, but that's the main cast. And the synopsis for the series is: when a night watchman finishes his shift at work, he is terrified to discover that everyone in the world who went to sleep the previous night has died. Now, he and a band of survivors must stay awake and uncover the secret of this global epidemic before they fall asleep. So this is also a podcast of the same name. And so, D, what was the reason for choosing Edge of Sleep for us to discuss?
Well, ironically enough, the main character there, Mark Fishbach, Markiplier. I've been, you guys know I'm a big video gamer, so I used to watch him a lot on YouTube because he used to play a lot of horror video games online and stuff. You know what I mean? And then afterwards, you know, when I started working with the team, with the Rockies and stuff, you know, and all the travel that I do and stuff, you know, I listen to podcasts a lot. You know what I mean? So, but podcasts really, you know, are my go-to when I travel a lot. You know what I mean? So, I happened to run across this podcast of I like live action. I like the drama series, like a podcast. So, and I saw this one, like holy shit, this is the YouTuber. So, and when I heard it came out back in 2019. This podcast actually. And I absolutely loved it. I thought it was brilliant. You know what I mean? So we've been waiting 5 years for season 2 for the podcast, and I was psyched to see that it was turned into a miniseries, if you will. So yeah, so I just I dug the YouTuber, I dug the podcast, and I dug the story a lot. So I thought you guys would enjoy it as well.
All right, cool. So let's go around, do some first impressions, and kick it off with MZ.
Yeah, I had never heard of this before. Okay, I knew nothing about this, but I was actually quite surprised with it. This Markiplier. Markiplier. Okay. Yeah, that's the other thing. I got to tell you, I was getting really thrown off by the opening credits because here I am seeing somebody named Markiplier. I'm seeing somebody with the name Leo who spells it Lio.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, is this an eye chart or something? What am I looking at? You know. But I will say that this film has a very strong. I got the void out of this. I'm sure Wolfie will agree to that to some
There's
extent.
some elements, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and oh god damn it, what the hell was it called? When the triangle symbol, it's the not the Trinity, but what is it called? I forget. Like the triangle, Illuminati. That's what I'm thinking of. You know, it had that same sort of vibe going on. I found it, but it's interesting, you know, because all right, here's a story that while it does sound familiar, is one that I've never really heard before, you know, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see where this goes because it's really interesting. The main guy, Dave, what's his name? Dave, played by Markiplier. Yep. He has got such a very unique look to him, and voice. His voice is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm a sucker for a good voice, and this guy's got a good voice.
He did he had that out in the podcast, which is actually very fucking awesome. So if you guys haven't heard that, definitely go.
Really?
Yeah, it's him doing it, and like even like from the I got sucked in through the trailer of the podcast when I heard it years ago, and it's him doing the voice and stuff, and it's pretty fucking awesome. It's pretty awesome. So definitely check it out. Go on and say, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But yeah, he's got a very unique look and a great voice. That to me is money right there. So this guy's pretty solid. Actually, all the acting here is solid by everybody. But I was really interested to see where this was going to go because this series is obviously made by people who like horror movies and are horror fans. And I caught a couple of references. I'll get into it later, but I caught a couple of references. There may have been more, but there were two in particular that I caught immediately. And I'm like, son of a bitch, they made a reference to that. And I'm like, God damn, look at that. These guys know what they're doing. So, and they didn't hit you over the head with these references either. It was sparse and laid out just right.
Mm-hmm.
But it lays out a very interesting concept here. What happens if you do fall asleep and you die? I mean, what are you supposed to do? Stay awake for the rest of your life? That's impossible. So it lays out a pretty interesting challenge for our heroes here, and I'm looking forward to see where this is going to go.
All right, Raven Shadow, how about you?
Yeah, I had never heard of this show, but I was definitely really into it. Watching The Sumerian, I think we watched the first 2 or 3 episodes together. Part of the intro was a little bit Doctor Whovian to me. I'm not talking about the Nancy Sinatra song, but just some of the vibe of it. And by the way, I've had the fucking song stuck on my head for fucking days and days.
Right. It won't leave you.
It's kind of my jam now, in a weird fucking way. But you think about, and now is the time that Ollie decides to fucking run amok. But you think of like the classic Freddy Krueger thing, right? Yeah, if you go to sleep, the dream demon's gonna get you.
Right.
But there's no dream demon in this. It's just death's gonna get you. Maybe a little bit of flatliners going on there. Not a like-to-like comparison, but people who are going through some shit. Cast was fantastic. Again, Dave, I'm not trying to blow him, but
Jesus.
I'm not saying James Earl Jones voice, but this dude has an iconic voice. And I love his Caucasian persuasion going on. I like that. I still think the best cinematic Nightwing we've not seen should be of mixed Asian and Caucasian race. Give it a fucking a wanderer dad and an Asian mother. That'll give you your best Dick Grayson. And my man, Mateo, is my dog, dude. I was trying to figure out, why do I know this dude? Is he Sam Jones III from Smallville? And I'm like, no. Oh, shit. He was fucking half a Firestorm in Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, okay. That's where I did recognize him too, but yeah, okay.
And he was in Attack the Block. Son of a bitch.
He was?
Was he really?
Yes.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that. Get out of here.
Yeah, wow.
Dennis.
Is he British?
Are you talking about, is it the Attack the Block remake that they're doing?
No, the original.
Okay.
Yeah, London, UK. He's a Brit.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Surprising there. Yeah,
Surprised me.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I didn't see that coming.
All right. So with the let me see.
Raven Shadow just disappeared during his first impression.
I'll chime in on mine while he's stuff. Oh no, wait, he's back. Yeah, go on. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, he wasn't in the original Attack the Block.
Yeah, he was Dennis, and he's a Brit.
He is British.
Is he a Brit?
He's a Brit. Yeah.
They fucking make up that fucking language, that accent.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
I'm very surprised. I didn't know that at all. Actually, I'm very surprised that you said that.
Raven Shadow, you were doing good until you just said that.
They fucking make that shit up, dude.
That really confused me. That really confused me there. Yeah.
But I love that kid. And he was great. So I just like the team. And as somebody who's been awake for days, sometimes I don't want to go into it, but I could relate.
Right. Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Is that it?
Well, it's the fucking first impressions, Wolfie. I don't want to get to my fucking drug use.
Well, I know,
mean,
but you always usually people have a period on their first impression, and then you can tell it's over. But I can never tell with you.
Well, his period
just
was when he went off. When he took off.
Yeah, he just walked away.
No, Ollie was fucking.
Don't blame it on Ollie. Yeah, but if you're talking, you could be like, "Be right back, guys." You just fucking disappeared.
You just leave.
I can see. I know that look, Raven Shadow. You
he's
are.
like, wait, did I really do that?
No, it's not that. He is. He's appalled that we're calling him out on it.
Well, if it wasn't going to be us, it would have been somebody else.
She just let it fly. K baby.
K baby, baby.
All right, D. How about you? So you said you first listened to the podcast, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
cool.
It came back out in 2019, and like I said, he actually did the trailer for it. I'm like, I know this fucking guy's voice, so and then when I see it, like, oh shit, it's the YouTuber, and it sucked me in with the trailer, and it was I believe 8 or 10 episodes. The podcast they were pretty faithful to the source content. They did some creative liberties, but it's fine. And his father is German, his mother is from Korea. That's why he has that unique look to him and stuff. I was psyched about this miniseries since I love the podcast. So I love the feel of it. It was very fucking weird, you know what I mean. So it's a pretty original concept, but short. Ironically enough, there was a very similar web series that no one talks about that I actually found out about after I watched this series. There's a web series called Day 5, which is pretty similar to it's on Tubi actually. There you go, MC. It's on Tubi and stuff. It's called Day 5, and it's pretty much the kind of the same concept of an apocalyptic world where if you fall asleep you die. That one took a more not scientific one, but this one's obviously more supernatural than anything else and stuff. You know what I mean? So I dug the concept of it. And I was just really looking forward to watching this. You know what I mean? So I dug the cast. You know what I mean? I thought it was great. So yeah, I was all for it.
All right, cool. And for me, same thing. I never heard of this. I didn't actually know it was a podcast at first. I did a little bit of research and found that out. And so I don't know anything about the making of this, anything. So to me, I don't know if this is super low budget or however it was made, but it didn't feel that way to me. It felt like this had a decent budget. I don't know if it was Amazon, supported it or if they funded it themselves and then Amazon, acquired the rights. I don't know how that went, but it looked good. For the most part, I thought it looked really good. Right. And also to be able to shoot, I don't know if they actually shoot in LA, but to have some of those scenes where there's nobody around, that's very difficult to do. And, typically you have to get a permit and have roads shut down or something like that. So I don't know how they went about doing that, but clearly they were able to have some budget with this.
Right. Yeah. Even if you're doing guerrilla shit, I literally, you guys know this, where I used to work, where they filmed fucking significant Hollywood films, they did have to fucking block the streets off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I couldn't cross because Robert De Niro is walking by here. I'm like, well, fucking, he doesn't fucking pay my salary, dog. I'm crossing the street. You know what I mean? Fucking, because Bradley Cooper's gonna cross the street for a shot they never fucking used.
Right.
You know.
Right.
you know. But you got like this could have been filmed during the pandemic.
Yeah, it's
because there was
possible.
like
Yeah,
nobody around, you know, like, and it was a small cast aside from passed out dead bodies.
Right.
Yeah. So apparently, yeah, okay. I was wondering about. It says The Edge of Sleep originated as a podcast produced by Q Code, written by Jake Emanuel and Willie Block. It aired in 2019 and featured Mark Fishbach as the main character, Dave Torres. And then says in 2021, Q Code made an agreement with New Regency to adapt The Edge of Sleep into a TV series with Fishbach reprising his role. The show was filmed in Vancouver in 2021. Okay, so it was filmed in Vancouver over the span of a month, although talks of its release would not be reported until 2023. The series was shopped to numerous broadcasters and streaming platforms, all of which declined to pick it up until it was approved for release on Amazon Prime via Prime Video Direct. So apparently it wasn't picked up by any of them. They just had did the Prime Video Direct, which I think is anyone can do. I think anyone can do that. So it's interesting that happened that way. And it says September 30th, 2024, Fishbach announced on his YouTube channel that the show will be released on October 18th, although he could not reveal which streaming platform. And then on October 15th, 3 days early, the show was released on Amazon Prime, while its marketing was still set to roll out on the 18th. And it says, since its release, the series is broken into Prime Video's top 10 and was hovering around 6 or 7 throughout the weekend of its release, which is pretty awesome for not having any, dropping early, not having much marketing, and also not having, like a major company behind it. So
he has a huge fan base, but YouTube and stuff, Fishbach. So they are promoting, but via his fans and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was just reading. He has one of the I don't know how they worded it, but one of the most popular YouTube channels on YouTube. Period. Like top 100. Like So obviously a lot of people like him, and it seems like he's a really good guy as well. From what I can tell, he is really good to his fans and supporters. So pretty awesome to see. And so so just talking about the series, I did think the first episode or two was kind of dragging a bit for me. Not like, it's not that I wasn't interested. I was wondering where it was going to go. And I think that until it hit its stride, I was still sort of like, trying to figure out where it might land. But once it did hit its stride, I feel like it actually really hit its stride and was super interesting. Like, I think episodes 3 through 6, I thought were all really well paced, well done. And even like, once again, budget wise, like, I don't know, like this felt like almost like a real series, like especially like the whole thing with like flying, the flying the plane and going to the island and like,
oh yeah,
a lot of that shit, like that just screamed budget to me. It looked good. And one thing about one thing you can do with hallucinations is there's a lot of nice like post-production tricks you can do, and I feel like they were like it fit this because yes, like if you're awake for 70 plus hours or whatever it was, that you're gonna be seeing some shit for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You guys probably remember, well, at least MZ and Raven Shadow, I think I've talked about it, but I did a sleep study like years ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
shit. Really?
I had to be awake. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what it was. I forget what the longest I was awake. It was at least 50 hours, maybe close to 70. I actually don't remember. So
really,
it was definitely
it
was definitely 50. That I remember. It like the first night was like 8 hours, and then it was like 12 hours, and then like 20, and then like or 24 or something, and then it jumped to like 50 hours, and I was like,
listen, man, but past 50 hours, you start hallucinating.
Oh yeah,
you really start hallucinating, man. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, in the sleep study I did, I was just laying in a bed, like I couldn't really move. I couldn't really do anything, and it was how hard it is to be in a bed and stay awake.
How did you not fall asleep? I'm curious. How did you fall asleep?
I would sit up, so I wasn't laying back, and they would have like some the assistants like come in and like I don't play like games like Chinese checkers or whatever the fuck. I don't remember what else, chess, board games, but it was fucking hard. Yeah,
That's a long time, man. To be honest.
yeah, and I definitely was seeing shit. Like not like they were. Like, because I think I was only like 50 hours, but I was seeing colors, and I kept thought I would see things. I'd be like, what was that? What was that? And I would see like colors kind of bleeding through and stuff. So, yeah, if you probably get to 70, like they talked about it, or 72, whatever it was, like, I'm sure you're going to fucking see some shit.
Yeah.
But is there a crisis moment where like the body needs sleep? Like, is there a point of no return?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of talk about it. I don't know what that is, but they kind of talk about it. Like he said, like in he's like when Kate, is that her name? I think
his girlfriend.
The girlfriend, yeah, like the actor Katie. When they were on the plane and she was like kind of falling asleep, he was like, yeah, like you have to give her like the adrenaline or something because.
Yeah,
like your body just might shut down or your brain shuts down or something. I can't remember what they said, but
yeah.
Oh, for sure. Because I mean, I've been in front of the computer doing like spreadsheets, and I fucking nodded off more than one occasion.
That's not the same thing, though. But
but at the same time, too, I've had some stimulants.
Benders?
Yeah, you might call them benders. Some might call it prescription. I'm not proud of it, but I've been up for like a couple of days. I love how D's like, yeah. It was. No one's biting at all. Yeah, but
what's been up is like almost 2 days, and that really just messes with your mind. I mean, you do have like micro naps. You know what I mean? Because your body just can't take it after a while and stuff. You know what I mean? So that's actually quite interesting. So it was and even like his condition, what he had, Dave, parasomnia. That's a real fucking condition, a really fucked up one too. It's actually worse than insomnia actually, because like with parasomnia, you're really like you're very restless. You don't know what your body is doing. You're prone to doing sleepwalking and shit and stuff like. I mean, it's very, very fucking dangerous. You know what I mean? So I thought it was really cool how they tackle that topic of sleep deprivation and stuff. You know what I mean? So really
you
cool.
see it, and you see it in the characters as they progress too.
Yeah.
Like you see it in their faces, and like do you remember the character Nightman from the Ultraverse?
Of course, yeah.
He had a thing. It was a short-lived TV show in the '90s, but he had something was impaled in his head that fucked up his sleeping.
Right.
His sleeping thing, and he was always awake.
Right.
I think he was like a radio DJ, and then became a vigilante by night.
Yeah.
And it's a real condition. If that something is separated, you just don't sleep.
Right. So I thought it was real cool, like that how they handle like what happens with sleep deprivation and stuff, you know what I mean, and then and what happens like when you dream and stuff, and he has some fucked up dreams too, like I think they did like a really good job, with some of the nightmare stuff that they showed, which they described very well here and in the podcast as well. You know what I mean? Like that elephant monster, it was just it was just horrendous. I mean, so it was
big old dick nose.
Yeah.
What are you looking at, dick nose?
What are you looking at, dick nose?
The effects on this show are really, really good too. I mean, I took a look at who did the effects on this, and I'm like, nobody I really know. But there's the elephant effects. There's a great skull splitting scene and scalp ripping and some really good stuff going on here. I was really quite surprised as to how well those were actually pulled off. A couple of the and like I said before in the intro, these people who made this are obviously horror fans.
Yeah,
I
apparently. Sorry, MZ. I want you to get that one sec. But Markiplier apparently plays a lot of horror games, as I'm sure D would know. Yeah, like so he plays a lot of horror games on his YouTube channel. So
yeah. That's what he does. Yeah.
I caught 2 references. There may have been more, but I only caught 2. One was the town in which this is all set in at the very start, Santa Mira, and Santa Mira is the home of Silver Shamrock Masks in Halloween 3.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And also the corpse in which they use the bone saw to cut open the skull.
Oh yeah,
of the cadaver laying on the slab.
Yeah.
And they said the cadaver's name is Dwayne Bradley.
Oh, from Basket Case.
From Basket Case.
Yeah.
I'm like, son of a bitch. Yes, good. You know, I don't care if it sucks. I'm going to enjoy that. But
there's another one, MZ. Did you catch the name of episode 6?
No.
Dream Warriors.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Now, surprisingly, Nightmare on Elm Street was never brought up into this.
Surprisingly,
in the
yeah.
first 6 episodes. Surprisingly enough, maybe because it was too on the nose. But I think the acting here was pretty solid by everybody involved.
Yeah.
I like how they messed with your head with the hallucinations and things like that. That kind of stuff is pretty simple, but you know, and you've seen that kind of thing before, so you got to be a little bit more intelligent and more resourceful about it. And I think they did a pretty good job. Nothing spectacular, you know. They stretched out the images on a scene to make it look like somebody has 3 eyes and 2 noses and 2 mouths or whatever.
Right.
And, you know, simple things like that, you know, and it passes. Couple areas where I thought was a little stretching it a little bit too much after a while. And I think we're in like episode 4 or 5. I think episode 5, where we're seeing them flying to this tropical island, this island that could possibly help them out. And sporadically throughout the episode, you see, you know, 68 hours, 71 hours, 79 hours, you know, so forth and so forth. And I'm saying to myself, God damn, this is like the gun that never had to be loaded. The plane's been up in the air for like 14 hours and never had to refuel. So, you know, I'm like, okay, maybe I just have to stretch out my thoughts on that and just allow it to be because it's in this world. I don't know, but I found that a little hard to buy into. And also, I think that, you know, also as we were in, I think episode 4 or episode 5, where David is, you know, he seems to be a little bit more alert. They get to the I think it's episode 6. They get to the island and they're like, "Come on, we got to get going. We got to get going." And everyone else is freaking out now at this point, except for Dave. And it's like, well, that's because he was able to get in 2 minutes of sleep during that one scene where they were basically doing the Frighteners thing where they just pull him out before death gets a hold of him. And I'm thinking to myself, well, why don't they do that with everybody else, you know? And I mean, I guess 2 minutes of sleep is better than nothing. So because
that reminded me of how I used to set my alarm clock. Like I'll set my alarm for 2 more minutes.
Oh yeah.
And then like wake up.
Used to give you shit for that.
Yeah, 2 more minutes. What was frustrating for me though, and again, I'm not trying to be a dick, but there are prescription stimulants out there. There are narcolepsy pills. There are ADHD pills. There are things. And when the entire hospital is dead and you have a worker that probably has a badge, you could get some of these drugs.
Yeah.
Because they're, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
those are things. Like narcolepsy is a thing.
Yeah, but they have that drug that was like being promoted throughout the entire series.
There are better drugs than that.
That animated little.
How would you know
pill.
that that's a better drug?
It's actually there's actually a take on modafinil, which is
modafinil. Modafinil is the narcolepsy drug.
Right. So yeah,
I think how Raven Shadow knows this stuff.
I mean, once again, if you can trust me on anything Superman related, and trust me on certain drugs.
No
I'm
true
just saying
statement
that,
has
like,
ever been said by you, Raven Shadow. I'll totally buy into that.
Like, I wouldn't lie to you, brother. I'm just saying that behind the fucking velvet rope, they got some shit in the back. You know what I mean?
But there's good tension being built up in here. I mean, because they're slowly learning about what's going on, but they're not getting any answers because they don't know where to start off.
Right.
Because because this is something that just started kicking into gear, and they're really working with nothing. They got nothing to go on. They're only going by what they know at that moment, and they learn as they go along, and they learn from their mistakes, and they relish in their victories, and so every small victory that you feel for these characters is a big victory because you have absolutely no idea what's going on. You know, and with the streets all cleared out, it really is a metaphor for COVID, really.
Sure.
When you think about it, not exactly, but you know, it's close to it. Just a very intense story, and it's very intense storytelling too. I think the way they ratchet up the tension in this is really quite good, because then there's like small amounts of infighting, and you know what are we going to do, and we got to worry about ourselves before we start worrying about everybody else, and this whole thing. It gets to be crazy it gets to be a really crazy world when there's only 4 people involved.
Right.
You know, that's the amazing thing. You have 4 people involved here, and the entire world is just shattered.
And even when Dave is making the phone call to somebody, he's like,
Dave's not here, man.
Dave's not here, man. And he's like, hey, call me back. Like, stay the fuck awake. You know, fucking like, wait, don't go to fuck. I know you're fucking pissed at me, but don't go to bed. That's great when ex-lover calls you. Don't go to bed.
I actually loved that scene when what was his character's name? Mateo, when he figures out the radio station. He's like, oh, the radio. You know, because they're trying to figure out who might still be awake. And then of course, like, that's a great way to go, because you can let people know, what's going on. For the people who listen to radio anyways. So I thought that was cool. And then at first, like, I thought it was a little silly that Dave was trying to run to Katie's. But I mean, in that case, what did he say? It was like 2 or 3 miles away or something like that. So that's literally like, maybe if you make really good time, you can get there like 25, 30 minutes,
6 miles away.
6? I thought it was 3 or 4. Okay, well,
6 miles.
But still, like, yeah, that's crazy. Like,
it's funny. Like,
I could see that. Like, if it's someone you love, right, you're gonna just do whatever you want, whatever you need to, right?
Yeah. And given the situation that he was in, as far as a physical standpoint is concerned, that guy was hauling ass.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's a fucking fit motherfucker.
For a guy who hasn't slept in like 60 hours, the guy knows how to move.
Well, I'll tell you right now. A few months ago, I had a drunken shadow night, and
oh shit, really?
My car was not at my house, and I had to work the shop on a Saturday, and and Marion was indisposed. My mother was down the Cape, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll just fucking walk to the shop. And you guys know where I live, and I got to about like 20 minutes from my house. I'm like, I can't fucking walk. This is bad judgment. So I called the first cab I ever called in the fucking last 20 years. Sweating. Like I can't make that. I can't walk to Worcester in a half an hour.
No. But no, they did a good job there with the world building. I mean, it seemed like dead. Like, you know, the world actually it did seem dead. You know, except for those four characters and stuff. You know what I mean? So it was a really good job. You know what I mean? So I totally dug it. I mean, and like as the hours kept rolling by, you know what I mean? They did a good job with the makeup and stuff. They just looked all fucked up. You know, as the hours came on by, when they looked completely fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it looked very believable, and that's also based on their acting too. You know what I mean? It looked very believable. They were like up for like fucking days and stuff. You know what I mean? So it seemed like that. You know what I mean? So it was really solid acting, actually. I mean, for people that that dude, like Mark Fishmark, he really isn't like an actor and stuff. You know what I mean? So he was a YouTuber and stuff. You know what I mean? So
that's crazy.
That jump that he did, you know, to acting was pretty fucking awesome. I mean,
yeah.
So good.
I think
I love. Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's one scene I love when they're doing the autopsy, and then Mateo was like doing the selfie, and like, oh shit, sorry.
Yeah.
And then when the blood splatters, he's like, I got fucking blood in my mouth.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking ER doctor. I get blood in my mouth all the fucking time.
Speaking of, I actually love that character of Linda, played by Eve Harlow. I thought she was fucking awesome. Like, and I think the only I got kind of like a weird, not a weird vibe. I don't know, like Katie. I think it was just the character and the way that Katie was supposed to be portrayed, because she's kind of an addict or a former addict.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's something about her that always felt really distant. So I'm guessing it was on purpose. There's something going on there. But I feel like we were kept at arm's length with her. Like, whereas a lot of the other characters, I felt like right away, Mateo, Dave, and Linda, I thought we all got to know really well. But there could have been a reason. Yeah, but there could have been a reason for that, you know, as we find out later on in the story. And I thought the ending was really cool. Like the way, literally, I think it was the last shot we saw was, you know, I won't say what it was for spoiler reasons, but I thought that was really cool. And, you know, if there is a season 2, I think it could be really interesting. And
there is, you know, to take it for what you will, but it's been agreed upon since 2023 for a season 2, at least the podcast version. Which since the show did well, presumably, you know, it'll have another season 2, but we can only hope. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I've been on that cliffhanger for a few years now and stuff. You know what I mean? So
oh man.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what happens and stuff.
Yeah. That's funny. So I think we can probably cap it there. I mean, there's probably a few more things that we could talk about, but you know, I think for the most part, we did a pretty extensive job of talking about it. I did like some of the flashbacks. I like the stuff about you know, we get to see Dave when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And doing like the sleep tests and studies. The character I was talking about, played by Carlo Rota, was the doctor. That was
with that awful toupee.
Yeah, such a fucking
that Mo Howard haircut. That toupee.
Such a fucking weird character. Like, he just was so bizarre. I mean, I'm sure there's a reason for it, but you know, I just it's just such a weird character. And I thought a lot of that stuff was pretty cool, though, and I really like the what they call them, the dream people, I think is what they refer to them.
Yeah.
Reminded me not in the way that they looked or anything like that, but it reminded me a little bit of Dark City with like the.
Ooh. Yeah.
I can't remember what they called them, but like the architects, the ones that were all in black, they all look very similar. So not to say that, I feel like it was copied or anything like that, but, they're like the architects of the dream, so to speak. So in a way, there's a kind of a similarity there because in Dark City, they're kind of creating this reality and dreams, I guess, in a sense. So yeah, there's a connection there, but I mean, Dark City is one of my favorite movies of all time. So I mean, I'm pretty okay with that. But I did like how they were dressed. I like the masks, how they're all uniform looking, and that the one sleep person that talked with that dude was fucking weird too. Like, definitely a good look to him because it seemed very dreamlike.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the guy who had the subtitles?
Yeah. Safet, I think, was his name.
Right. So I think for something it was they did a really good job production wise and stuff. You know what I mean? For something that was kind of like, I don't want to say slapped together, but you know what I mean. But it really was. It was very well done. In my estimation, like, I think the even the episode lengths I thought were just right. You know what I mean? I thought it was, I thought it was just right. It didn't seem to like drag and stuff like what we said. Maybe the first. I mean, obviously, I had more of a knowledge of the show, so I knew where it was going. But maybe that first episode or something, maybe didn't. Maybe it may have dragged on for like some people and stuff. You know what I mean? But I think the episode lengths were just right. I thought it was, they did a good job with the story.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the episode lengths were really good. Like a little bit more would have been too much, or any shorter would have been too little. So I think it was a really good balance there. So yeah, well, let's. Why don't we head to the verdict? And if you guys have any final thoughts, we can go ahead and do it in there. I'm not
check
gonna
out the podcast, guys. Yeah, check out the podcast.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna. Tanya actually has been listening to a lot of audio dramas lately. She's listened to one called The Magnus Archives now.
Oh, I've heard it.
Yeah, she's really digging that. What was the other one she listened to? Shit, I forget. I added it to. I'll have to look at my podcast feed. But so anyways, I'll also recommend this to her because I think she'd dig this. Although if there's only like a few episodes, maybe not. She likes the long, like, when there's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, go to Q Code Media, the ones that created this. Yep. They have a whole channel, and their podcasts are probably the best the best out there right now. They have a lot of the different stories there, so definitely check it out. She'll definitely dig it.
Oh, you mentioned that made me remember The Old Gods of Appalachia was the other one that she really loved.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah.
So, and I actually found when I was looking for those to add them, I found what's it called? Let me pull it up on my phone. Hold on. It's Warren Ellis has a podcast, Raven Child, that he's writing.
Really?
Called The Midnight something or other. Let me see. They just released a new episode a couple days ago. The Department of Midnight.
Oh.
So it's Warren Ellis. It's an audio drama.
I don't know. It's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't listen to a lot of like audio dramas. I feel I should. Like, actually, the only one I did, indeed, this is in your wheelhouse, was Spiders, Bleeder's Digest.
Oh yeah. Right on. Yeah.
Because that was scary. I just stopped listening to it because I wasn't going to bed.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was getting nervous. Check that out, D.
Marion has a couple comments. Let me just read real quick. She says the running scene was stupid. There were cars everywhere to borrow. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was, I think, the only thing that bothered me. Like, it's not gonna run miles. Like, I don't know. And then she also says, also didn't let the dog they showed out of the kennel. What a dick.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right about.
Yeah.
Dick move, bro. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
should've
You're
let
right,
him out.
Marion.
You take them with you.
Dick move, bro.
Yeah, take them with you. You know.
Agreed.
Crypto, son.
All right, so let's do.
Dick move, Dave.
Yeah, let's do a quick verdict, and we'll start with MZ.
I like this. I want to see season 2. The characters are good. The acting is solid, and it's got a really interesting story that I want to see more of. Not to mention catch some more obscure horror references as well. That's always a treat for me. So this is a treat for me.
All right, Raven Shadow.
Yeah, I mean, it's a gluttony of riches right now with all the TV shows and all the streaming services, and also with James Gunn's Superman coming out in July of 2025. What I'm trying to say is, with so much content, I'm glad my tag team partner Double D recommended this because this was dope, and I enjoyed it. I love my Asian American brother Dave, and I love Capricorn Mateo, my dog.
Right.
And great cast, and it's a great movie to do, a great show series to do stimulants with. Treat.
Right.
All right, how about you, D?
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously with my love of podcasts and how much I love this one. This is probably one of my favorite ones, you know, podcast of all time. But yeah, I was definitely looking forward to this. It didn't disappoint at all. I'm so glad that they stayed really close to the source material. This is definitely a treat for me. I would recommend this to anybody, and also even though even if it's not your thing. Listen to the podcast. You'll absolutely dig it. Yeah. You'll absolutely dig it.
Is the podcast 6 episodes, D?
No, I think it's like 8 or.
Okay.
I think it's 8 or. I think it's a bit longer, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, cool.
I think it's a bit longer. Yeah. So yeah, it's super good. And like you said, and you get more exposition from from Mark Fishbach and stuff. You know what I mean? So because obviously the episodes are like a little bit longer. Let me see. There are 7 episodes actually, so it's a little bit longer. I mean, so yeah, I don't know. No, I'm sorry, 8. Yeah, there's 8 episodes. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. 8 episodes. Yeah, so check it out, guys.
Awesome. Yeah, so for me, I also say treat. It definitely, like I said, started a little slow for me, but definitely found its pace around episode 3, and I think from there just kept going. It really. That's when the mystery sort of got to the point where it was really intriguing about what was going on. And even, I mean, I like the other episodes as well. Don't get me wrong. Like the first episode I thought was really funny. Like, especially that scene when he falls in his chair and drops all his pills when he's working, and they watched it back. You know, I thought that was funny. And then they went to the party, and, you know, so I thought that there was some good stuff in that, some good character development for those two. To, you know, because you kind of like right off the bat, you kind of like identify with Dave, but Mateo took a little bit longer. But once you sort of like hit with Mateo, it's like, okay, now it's just rolling. Like Mateo is awesome. So yeah. So treat for me. So if you guys like, I don't even know how to, like, psychological thriller, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. Because it has some horror elements, but it's really not horror. You know what I mean? So but yeah, I would say psychological drama. I guess. You know what I mean? Like I guess so.
Yeah. So you know, but it's just even you could even kind of say like maybe like cosmic horror, right? Like
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of that thing where you just kind of something so drastic happens that you can't quantify it. It seems so. You feel so infinitesimal in the universe when, you know, like, so yeah, I would go maybe something with that, but, yeah, it's cool. It's, 6 episodes and it is 20 minutes each. So it ends up being just under 2 hours. What's so funny?
I'm just looking at Nathan Fillion in the new Superman film.
Guy Gardner, man. That's what he looks like.
Yeah. He looks like Uncle Fester in Adam's Family Values.
Look up Guy Gardner. He looks just like that.
I don't have to look up any Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
Fuck the gunner.
Yeah, that's what he looks like.
Dude, fucking
He looks
Homer
like Uncle
Simon.
Fester in Adam's Family Values. I can't help it.
That's funny.
On brand, dog.
All right, it's out of my system. I'm sorry.
All right, so that is going to wrap up our discussion of The Edge of Sleep. It is on Prime Video. You can check it out there. Yeah. Okay, for next week, it is the last episode of 2024.
Wow.
Pretty crazy. Yep. And this was difficult. There's a lot of stuff out there that I really kind of wanted to get in under the wire here, but I tried to go with two that have been talked about a lot and have been showing up on other year-end lists for other publications and sites and podcasts and stuff. So it was definitely a tough decision to go with just two, but I think hopefully these will give us some good contenders for the year-end list, if they end up being as good as other people say they are. So first up, though, we're doing a film that is now on Shudder, and it's called Mads, M-A-D-S. Have you seen this yet, MZ?
That. I have.
Okay. So MZ knows all about it, but there's some cool stuff going on in it aside from the story, because I don't know anything about the story. I was told going cold, so I didn't really read much about it. But it is a single take. The entire movie was filmed in a single take. So 89-minute movie was shot in a single take.
How did they do that? I'm curious. Wow.
Yeah, and it's so and IMDb on the trivia, it says filmed in one long tracking shot with no breaks.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and apparently MZ's seen it, so don't say either way, MZ, but apparently it gets pretty crazy. It really ratchets up. So we'll check out Mads, and just a heads up, it is a French film.
Oh,
so you can brush up on your French, Raven Shadow. Oui.
Oh, French fries.
Now, gotta read shit now.
Yeah. Menage a trois.
And the other film we're going to do is one that just popped up on VOD. I wasn't sure if it was going to hit this year, but it did. And it's one that was in theaters not too long ago. But it just seems like it's something kind of right in our wheelhouse, and something for right around Christmas, a nice religious horror movie. We're going to be doing Heretic, which stars Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
And also Sophie Thatcher, who plays the young Natalie in Yellow Jackets, Raven Shadow.
Oh, do.
And Topher Grace.
That's an awesome show, by the way. Thank you for the recommendation. Yellow Jacket. That's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, Raven Shadow. I finished it. I'm all caught up, I should say.
Really?
Yeah, caught up on.
You finished season 2?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's crazy.
Yeah, dog. Yeah.
I just started season 2, but it's pretty fucking awesome. It's pretty awesome.
I'm so glad you boys liked it. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was great. I can't wait for season 3 now. But so we'll do Mads, which is streaming on Shudder, and Heretic, which is on VOD, or I guess it's still in theaters too. So if it's still playing in your theater, you want to go check it out. We're going to do both of those flicks. So we'll check those out for next week, and then we'll wrap up the year of 2024 with those.
Nice.
All right, we do have a couple voice messages, so let me get to these, and then we'll kind of wrap things up here. Let's see. We got... Wait, these are from last week? Yeah, some of these are from last week. So I think we have 2 from this week, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Okay, so first up, we're going to hear from our boy First Time Mike. Let's see what's going on with our man FTM.
What's up, Trick or Treat family? This is First Time Mike. Hope everything is well with everybody. Hello, Double D on your Patreon takeover. Just a quick one today because I was making some Christmas cookies as gifts tonight, and work was been kind of hectic because I work in a grocery business and it's knee deep in the Christmas season. But Salem's Lot 2024. I kind of knew what I was getting into when I saw that it wasn't even 2 hours, and Salem's Lot has a lot to pack into it. So, my thoughts on this movie: it's an abridged version. I like this. I love the scenes with the crosses. I just like it shows the power of how the crosses work in this universe, and I love the scene where a vampire's is told that he's not allowed in the house anymore. That scene was amazing, and I can see why a lot of people don't like this movie, though. It takes a lot of liberties, and King fans can be very picky about that. But I say Salem's Lot is a tepid treat. It's not something that I'm going to go back to. I grew up on, I saw the 1979 one when they repeated it in the 80s, and I loved it. And I think that for me, that colors it for me a bit much, but interesting choices, tepid treat. I say check it out at least once. The other thing I want to do is I want to wish everybody the happiest of holidays, the merriest of Christmas, and the best of whatever holiday that you practice and hold dear. May your loved ones and you get everything you want this holiday season. May your families be safe and strong, and everybody take care of each other. This is much love from Milwaukee, from your pal First Time Mike. Love you all.
Right.
Merry Christmas, and First Time Mike drop out. Bye.
All right. Yeah. First Time Mike, Rave Channel, brother rating.
Brother rating out of 10.
Whatever the fuck that means.
Such a brother. Such a
brother.
Such a Milwaukee brother.
First Time Mike, it's always good to hear from you, and appreciate the thoughts on Salem's Lot. Glad you dug it. And yeah, he did have some good points, some things we didn't bring up. Sure. I actually did like when I can't remember what character it was now, but when they were disinvited. I actually thought that was kind of yeah. I thought that was actually kind of fun, and I do agree. The crosses was a little hokey, but for a movie thing, it actually kind of looked cool, So yeah, I think that was cool as well. So First Time Mike, happy holidays to you as well. For those celebrating Raven Shadow's day of birth, 2 days after Christmas. He rises up from the bed, from the couch after being passed out.
Yeah, I rouse up.
No 40s in sight. No 40s.
No 40s. Yeah, no. All just empties. Just empties.
Yeah. The 40 days of Christmas, dude.
The 40. Oh man. The 40 Ds.
Yeah, fucking 840 nights. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know what that means.
That's Hanukkah, man.
I don't know.
Eight crazy nights.
The crazy nights.
These are crazy, 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 crazy nights.
Crazy nights. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, we got one more voicemail.
Hanukkah Wolfen.
Hanukkah. I think. Wait, I think, is Paul Jewish as well? I know Gene is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We don't really talk about it, Wolfen. I try to be ambiguous.
All right, Raven Child, buckle up for this one.
I'm the nomination.
Jesus Christ. Buckle up. We're going across the pond.
Stop it.
And we're going to hear from the vegan prince of Wales, Linus.
Yeah.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio. This is Linus. How's it going? I saw Salem's Lot a while ago, and it seems alright. Then I fell asleep, and I woke up for the drive-in sequence, and that was pretty cool. So I assumed that the movie was pretty good. If it wasn't, then let me know and I won't watch it again. I'm mostly calling tonight to say, hey, Roving Shadow, how's about that fucking Superman trailer? Sorry, MZ. Yes, he does look like Tony Khan, but therefore he also looks like the way Frank Quitely drew him in All-Star Superman, which is the best Superman comic and probably best superhero comic, at least, ever made. And yeah, proper Superman, proper Luthor. Lois is generally great in all the on-screen versions, but she looks particularly so this time. And fucking Crypto, like I shed a tear when he whistled for him to come get him. Perfect. That's fucking dope. What do you reckon?
You getting the vapors, Rave Channel?
I was fucking crying on the fuck. I listen. It made my fucking eyes rain. And Linus is a fucking 10-star brother. I forget what in the fucking rating system. That was so sweet. I love that kid so much.
What's the exchange rate?
I don't know. D, how's that work over there?
I think it'd be like 14 stars, maybe.
I'm not sure how euros work, but
it's not a euro; it's a pound.
I don't know.
It's a pound.
Pound for pound, he's a fucking brother. How's that?
How many quid is it?
A lot.
A lot of quid.
There's a lot of quid. There's a lot of culture over there.
A lot of culture, a lot of quid.
A lot of quid. Quid pro quo. Yeah, no. It's a fucking Man of Steel and his fucking dog.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Dean fucking knows. Wolfie knows. Linus fucking knows. First time Mike Shirley fucking knows.
Right,
but
MZ doesn't.
No, apparently not.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, fucking Optimus Prime doesn't have a fucking dog. No fucking Robotimus dog.
Atomic Dog, maybe.
yeah. Why don't you go fucking walk your atomic dog, bro? Nobody gets that reference.
I think everyone here does. I think D, do you remember Atomic Dog?
Yes.
Okay. MZ, do you remember Atomic Dog? I think you're there for that.
It's vague right now.
All right,
I think I set him on fire at your house.
You did, yeah. You did.
Yeah, you did.
I don't know.
Here's Tron's old...
Personally, I'm on the edge of sleep myself, so.
Hey, don't.
Yeah, what have you been awake for 12 hours?
Yeah, right.
16?
You're more on the edge of creep.
He's a creep, yeah.
I'm approaching 18 hours right now.
Oh, wow.
That's still the first episode of the show.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
I got some modafinil there.
You get some Mama Juana. That'll do the trick.
Yeah.
Will keep you awake, buddy.
Make you hallucinate earlier. You don't need 72 hours.
You start losing weight. Do you see dumb shit start happening? Nobody else to rap again.
All right,
we'll put MZ out of his misery.
Yeah, we'll put him out of his misery. We do have to wrap it up, and let's start doing that. D, man, as always, fucking awesome hanging out with you, brother. It's been way too long.
Love you guys.
Yeah, love you too, man, and we appreciate. Obviously,
to take over. I look forward to it all the time, man.
Yeah. Absolutely, and we go back a ways, but we appreciate the support so much, man. It means a lot to us, and
always, man.
Yeah, it's great. So, all right, well, let's start to wrap up. D, do you have anything you want to promote, or just even if it's another show or another podcast that you've been digging?
No, like I told you guys earlier, the best company that's putting up a podcast is called Q Code Media. The ones that made Edge of Sleep. Check out their channel, Q Code Media. Any show there, pretty much. You're gonna dig it, man. They have all types. They're for horror, for sci-fi, for psychological thriller stuff. Check it out. You guys will dig it and stuff. You know what I mean? So
awesome. Yeah, I'll give it a look, and I'm gonna tell Tanya to check it out as well.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So let's go around and say goodbye to the listeners and to Double D, starting with MZ.
All right, Double D, good talking to you again, brother. You're looking good.
Likewise, brother. Likewise.
All right, thanks. And arrivederci, douchebags.
All right, Raven Shadow.
D, come on, dog. You know you're my fucking ride or die, man. You're fucking Maru for life.
Right.
You know, it might not be bound by blood, but we are bound by ink. You can't see yours, but you can see mine showing right now. I'm a ride or die. And, you know, you've always had my back. You know, I always got yours. And I love you, dog. So thank you so much. And much love to Linus. First time Mike and all the friends and the boys and girls in the back. So for this time and for next time, live fast, love hard, and enjoy the guilt.
To all my 10-star brothers in the back.
Oh, yeah.
To all my 10-star brothers and sisters in the back.
Everybody.
All right, well, that is going to do it. So as always, D, great to hang out with you, man. Thank you again. And yeah, these are two cool things. I'm glad I saw both of them. And obviously Salem's Lot wasn't, you know, a little mixed, but still I would have wanted to, I wanted to see it and I would have seen it anyway. So glad to chat about that with buds. And next week, as I mentioned, it is the last episode of 2024, and we'll be talking about the film's Mads, which is streaming on Shudder. And we'll also talk about Heretic, which is a VOD release, so you can check that out on streaming, or I'm sorry, not on streaming, on VOD. Got to pay the rental or the price to buy it, but or see it in the theater. So there you go. That's going to do it. And next week we'll have our last show of 2024. So come back, join us then. And if you have thoughts, send them to podcast@trickortreatradio.com. And remember, we have 20% off Patreon for new and returning subscribers. Use code TORTR24. And if you're an existing Patreon member, don't forget to go ahead and share patreon.trickortreatradio.com on social media. It's going to do it. See you.